Minutes of souping.
2 straight minutes of souping. I hope that they can hear that.
Can hear us.
Yeah.
So funny. I don't know.
We're souping. It's 2 straight minutes of souping.
Wait, they can.
I hope that they can hear that.
Can hear us. So
Can
funny.
they?
I don't know.
We're souping. 2 straight minutes of
Wait,
souping.
they can.
I think
I hope that they can hear that.
can hear us. So
Can
funny.
they?
I don't know.
We're souping. 2 straight minutes of
Wait,
souping.
they can.
I think
I hope that they can hear that.
can hear us. So
Can
funny.
they?
I don't know.
We're souping. 2 straight minutes of
Wait,
souping.
they can.
I think
I hope that they can hear that.
hear us. So
Can
funny.
they?
I don't know.
We're souping. 2 straight minutes of
Wait,
souping.
they can.
I think
I hope that they can hear that.
hear us. So
Can
funny.
they?
We're souping. 2 straight minutes of
Wait,
souping.
they can.
I think
I hope that they can hear that.
hear us. So
Can they?
We're souping. 2 straight minutes of
Wait, they can.
I think
I hope that they can hear that.
hear us.
Oh my god. Hello. Welcome to Chewed Gum. So sorry about the soup loop. That was
Oh my god.
so crazy. And of all the things, I'm so happy we were talking about soup. I'm so happy
real?
we were talking about soup. Because it really could have been
Oh my God.
anything. And that was literally souping for
Wild.
2
Oh my
minutes.
goodness.
We were souping for like 2 full minutes altogether. Anyway, that's because I was eating soup
They
right before the
can.
call. Anyway,
I think so.
are we
Oh
looping
no,
again?
oh my
We're
god.
soup
We are
looping.
trapped in the soup loop.
2 straight minutes of
Wait, they
souping.
can.
I hope they can hear us.
I don't know if they can, but something crazy is
This
happening.
is very entertaining. This is a great intro.
This is. Oh my god. I closed where I had the like the YouTube chat open because I thought it was me. I thought like my screen was like I don't know,
Same.
doing something crazy. So now I'm opening up again, so I need to see what the chat is saying because the soup loop that was really funny. Okay.
Oh my god.
Anyway,
I do love, I feel like that
Welcome.
really says something about the wholesomeness of us as people, you know, that all we're talking about at the beginning is soup.
literally just talking about soup and how I had 2 minutes to eat my soup and then just giggling about soup. And that's all. That was it. So
I don't think I would have been able to
Bro.
eat any soup if I were you enduring the
I
soup
didn't.
loop.
I didn't because the whole time I was trying to figure out what was happening. And I was like, is it me? It has to be me. That was so funny. Okay, I love it. That was kind of the most iconic intro we've had in a really long time.
I'm so glad I could be a part of it.
Me too. Today is Tuesday, September 16th. Choose the day, if you will. And this is Chewed Gum, where we talk about purity culture. We talk about...
Hear it. Oh my god.
We talk about soup.
It's like a black hole. Oh my god.
Wait, they can.
What is going on?
It's like, have you guys seen...
my God.
like the accretion disk of a black hole, where it's like sometimes the light you see in the front is the light from the back that's gone around twice and like over the top and
Oh,
like coming from
that's what's
every
happening.
direction. That's what that feels like, just in audio
That's what's
form.
happening. Oh my god. Whew. That was crazy. Okay,
Wild.
so I don't know how many more soup loops we're gonna have, but please give us a call at
Nice and like over the top.
720-619-2288. It's just
It sounds
what's
almost like
happening?
on like I'm not gonna backseat. I was gonna backseat produce, but I won't because Jimmy's back there and you probably don't need another person doing that. Whew, oh my god.
um okay, 720-619-2288.
I
Okay. Yeah.
I would check the tab where the stream is coming from, where like where you can see like the stream statistics. There's a little video player. See if the audio is on there. You probably want to mute it on that tab because that's happened to me before. A similar thing. I would check that first. Yes, Jimmy. Well, Luthion's producing and Jimmy's helping because we're also training Luxander. So I am in the passenger seat. So I'm gonna try not to backseat too
That
much,
was
but
so funny. I loved
yeah,
it.
no, that is really funny.
And it's just more chewed gum lore. More lore to add to the bank, which I'm not mad at.
Yeah, no, the
Um
audience loves that stuff.
Exactly. Okay, so we do have lines open, so you can give us a call at 720-619-2288. And as a reminder, super chats of $5 or more will be read at the end of the show. If this is your first time here, I'm Alyssa Ljub. I am a certified sex educator and I make sex and relationship content online. And yeah, so you can ask me all kinds of questions about sex and relationships.
Ooh-wee. I'm Arden Hart. I don't have any cool certifications, but I'm a trans person who talks about trans rights a lot. And for some reason, people keep having me in places to talk about things. So I must be in the ballpark of getting it right, but who knows?
You're a certified hot girl and also big brain.
Also, big
I'll make you a
brain. Thank
certification.
you.
I'll
Oh
make
my
you
God. I'll hang it up
a
on my
little
wall.
certificate that's like big brain certified hottie.
I want to get it framed in one of the same frames that you have for your dog pictures behind you.
Yes, exactly. And you know what? If I'm being so honest, it's like my college degree is just at this point the most expensive coaster I've ever bought. It doesn't
Same.
mean very much. So like, I think that certificate means pretty much as much as the other
Yeah, I
ones.
feel that. I got my bachelor's in psychology, and it is. I'm not gonna like. People are always like, "Oh, but there's skills you learn there that are helpful," and I'm like, kind of, but like, there's almost no skill that I learned there that I couldn't have gotten just from like reading a book.
Yeah.
There are certain things that are like, it's when you're learning how to like read research, it's really useful to have like a professor there to like help you understand better. But like really having the help person to help you understand is the only advantage. Like my psychology degree is also useless.
Well, I think I talked about this maybe on our last episode of Chewed Gum, that Ground News posted a about an Institute of Family Studies research, like about how Gen Z is having no sex, but it's based on a Institute of Family Studies like paper or whatever, where the methodology is literally they said that they took a survey of 1,000 people. There's no demographic beyond that. And they found that Gen Z was having less sex. And I was like, well, okay, so this is a group that is funded by a conservative think tank, and then they made
right.
the worst piece of research I've ever seen. And now for some reason Ground News posted about it. It's also old. Ground News posted about it, and then I think Complex too. Somewhere like another I saw it somewhere else too, and I was like, everyone needs to stop posting this study. Why is everyone it's not even, it's barely a study. Ugh.
I really love Ground News, but I've mentioned this before. They have one absolutely fatal flaw in their blind spot system, which is that what counts as a blind spot is only something that organizations with a left or right wing affiliation like aren't talking about. So often the blind spots for the left on Ground News are absolute bullshit, nonsense, not real, fake stories because the left isn't covering them because it's bullshit, and the right is covering it because it's bullshit, and they want to pretend that it's real. And so it's like, oh, this is a blind spot for you. And I'm like, no, it's not. I know that paper. That's just a lie. Like,
it's not real.
Yeah.
That's the thing is it's like Ground News is nice because you get to see who's reporting what, but it's not telling you the credibility of any of those things.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely still have to do the legwork. I overall, I do love it genuinely. Like, I do like having like a news aggregator, and there's things that I hear there that I don't see on my feeds because, you know, your algorithm is curated in a certain way. But like, yeah, it's definitely not like in the ad reads that they have people do, they always make it seem like, you know, this is the last thing you need to really understand the news. And it's like, no, I mean, it's a news aggregator. That's really all it is. It's a useful tool, but it's not like perfect by any means, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. Do you have Call In Studio open?
I just looked over at it. I think yes. Okay. I forgot I logged in, but I did. Yep.
Do we want to take our first call?
Sure. It looks like, is it still being screened or is my thing not updating?
I think it is. I think it is being screened. Okay, so we'll give them a second for a little bit. Right before we started, we were talking about, actually, this is a great chat. This is a great group task. What are your thoughts on Love on the Spectrum? Because I feel very much like I watched the first season and then I was like, I don't know. Oh, I think actually we're going to be talking about it on the podcast too, so I don't want to say too much of my opinion, but what's it called? I'd like to know if anybody in the chat has any opinions. Also, shout out to our call screener. Who's screening calls today?
I was just checking. It may be Jess from Canada. Not completely sure. I see she responded in Discord, but it wasn't too. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. Dragon. It's Dragon. Dragon. Okay. I always call them Dragon. I feel so bad. Yes. Thank you so much.
Okay, so let's see. I'm looking at the chat. A lot of people don't like
watch
it.
This YouTube channel,
dude.
In today's America, we don't know. We don't know yet. We'll find out.
We'll find out. It really is a. I honestly, like TMI, but I had the shits on and off all weekend over this whole situation. I was like, this is not good. This is really not good. I don't like it.
It's very scary stuff. I mean, it's, you know, there's just nothing good about it. The response is bullshit, and we could talk endlessly about that. But you know, what happened was bad, and the responses to it were bad. And although we got some more information today on this alleged trans roommate, and their desperation to tie trans stuff into it is funny to me, only because in like the morbid sense, because in every report, this person is cooperating with law enforcement, is like handing over text messages, wasn't the one who committed the violence. When the person who did the violence said they did it, they were like, oh my God, you did it? Oh my, you didn't do it, did you? Like they were like shocked in like a negative sense from what was being reported. So it's like, oh my God. Like this should be like an ode to like how nonviolent we are, but you know that they're gonna somehow try to, yeah. It's scary times out here, and who knows how long any of these shows will be legal.
I know. Yeah, it's scary. That was also like, I think you may have posted something that was like, first it was that like how did I can't remember now what the progression was. Did they think that he was trans for a second, and then they thought he was dating somebody who was trans, and they were like, "Oh no, his roommate is trans." I'm like, you are so
Yeah.
desperate to weave this into a story where it literally has nothing to do with the situation, literally at all.
They said that they had trans ideology engravings on the casings for the rifle ammunition, and it was not that. It was arguably like Groyper far right, like further right than Charlie Kirk engravings. And yet, if the text messages that are being reported are true, and it seems like they probably are, then this person was moving left politically in recent months and was in a relationship with a trans person. Still wasn't the trans person who did the violence at any stage.
Right.
Still a white cis man doing violence on a white cis man, but like, yeah, it's scary stuff, you guys. You should definitely all be. I don't know. I don't want people to be scared. I don't want to fear monger, but I also want people to be like have reasonable expectations for like the risks and what's going on and like how they should be like preparing themselves and stuff like that. And there's of course no shortage of. I'm sure you're having this too, Alyssa. My DMs are just absolutely flooded right now with. There's normally, I get a lot of people, and there's some in the comments who are like this, who are like, appreciating our perspective, but almost all of my DMs are full of people telling me I am evil and promoting violence and that violence should happen to me because of that, which doesn't make sense. Or people who are telling me that I am not being gleeful enough about what's happening. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I don't like living in a world where people can be violently removed from existing in the most gruesome way possible.
Right.
I don't know. It's all such a fucking shit situation. It makes me want to puke.
Yeah, me too. I felt that all weekend. The day that I saw that they created a website with a list, my legs were shaking for like an hour because I was like, this is not a world this is not a country that I want to be a part of if this is what it's going to be like. And I have the same thing where I have people on both sides telling me I'm terrible. And I just am like, at some point, two things. First, none of us are like trained in how to look. We're not politicians. I don't know how, like, you're asking us as regular people to respond in a way that's perfect for literally everybody. It's impossible. We're human beings.
Yeah.
So like we're doing the best we can. And if you want to have criticisms and opinions, of course, that's totally fine. Like, I'm fine with people being critical, but like to call us terrible people because we're not giving you the response that you want is like just a little bit of a bridge too far, especially if you're people who consume our content otherwise, like, and you know where we stand on everything else. Like, give me a fucking break.
Yeah.
But then the other part of it too is like, now we're in a place where like saying anything puts us all in danger. And this is setting a precedent for what's allowed now. Like, this is, if we are going to celebrate and be super happy about what happened, then it feels like any of us have a target on us. And so like, that's not okay with me. It's just not. I don't know. And I don't like that people got mad at me for feeling that way. That where I was like, this is unacceptable, literally no matter what. And I don't, that's just like, I can't believe that I had to defend that to the degree that I did, and I understand like who the person is does make some bit of a difference, but it doesn't because now we're all fucking scared. So,
I'll also say all the DMs from people who are viewers, I had a few who I told them I think they're feds in my DMs because they were like trying to tell me I needed to be more gleeful, and they're like, oh, like where's the threshold for where this kind of action is acceptable? And I'm like, haha, nice try, Fed. You're not gonna get me to step in some shit.
Whoa.
They claim to be viewers of the show, but I was like, I'm highly suspicious. Like, you guys.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That's
I don't want to
so
belabor the
interesting.
point since it's, not necessarily the topic of the show, but also, we had medical emergency in this household over the weekend. So it was like, oh my God, it has been a nightmare. I'm tired. I'm ready to take some calls though, and I've had caffeine, so I've got energy for calls, even
Yeah.
if I'm
I'm gonna text you
I'm
about that
like
later because
emotionally tired, not physically.
yeah. Okay. Okay. So let's take a call. We do have a theist who is waiting. You know him. You love him. Andrew from New Jersey. Hi, Andrew. Andrew, are
Hello?
you
Oh,
there?
hello, y'all. Yeah, I'm
Hi.
here.
How's
Hey,
it going?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Um, can y'all get rid of that god awful? Because I'll be waiting in the queue, and this is god awful piano music in the background, and
oh,
I can't.
here we go. It's changed
I
now.
Oh, he changed. Okay.
Is
Arden
it,
changed it.
I think Luthien might have
okay,
gotten it, but it's all
thank you.
right. Andrew, you're here. What's going on? What do you want to talk about?
I wanted to talk about how women flock to the churches when they start getting old. It's really bizarre. I don't understand it.
Wait, women stop going to church when they get old?
No, they flock to the churches when they start getting old.
They flock to the churches when
It's
they
like,
start getting old.
yeah,
Tell
yeah,
tell me
like
more about
when
this.
they, huh? Yeah, like when they start
Tell me
looking for
more.
husbands. Yeah, I know it's when they start wanting husbands and kids, they start wanting, God-fearing men, and they start flocking to the churches when they're about to reach like around like 30, 35, looking for more conservative-minded men. But when they're, when they're younger, they want more, I guess,
Andrew, can I
liberal,
ask a question?
free spirit kind of dudes. Yeah.
I wanted to congratulate you. I didn't know when you got appointed as the ambassador of women, but that's a really exciting title. Yeah, congratulations. I don't know when that happened.
The
Yeah, today
ambassador.
I try. I try.
Um, Andrew, I was thinking about our calls a lot over the weekend because I was reading a new book and it's about masculinity. And you and I have conversations about masculinity all the time. We're pals now, Andrew. And so in the book that I was reading, it was interesting because there's a lot about the way that we interpret masculinity, the way that we interpret testosterone, and a lot of these little pieces of masculinity that are like how we look at them socially that are not really correct. So one of the things I think is interesting is talking about women who are, doing what they want to in their 20s. And then by the time they're in their 30s, they're settling down a little bit more. First of all, men don't do anything different. And they, in their head, think that they have much, much longer than women do because they are able to have babies later in life. But now we know that past like 40 years old, your sperm quality decreases and your chance of providing sperm that could affect the baby's health after that age starts to decline. So that's sort of silly. That we never knew that before. But there was a lot in this book that was about how testosterone, and this will circle back around, I promise. Testosterone is a hormone that doesn't predict violence. What it does is it responds to our social status. So when something happens around us, around a man specifically, that feels like it inflates their social status, their testosterone shoots up. But the testosterone shoots up afterwards. So men get to be responsible for all of their behaviors because it has nothing to do with their hormones. It has nothing to do with what they're doing biologically. So actually, it doesn't really relate back to what you were saying. I just thought you would think that was interesting.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, I agree. I wanted to touch on something that you said about men's sperm quality going down after 40. That is true that their sperm quality go down after 40, but most women they tend to date within their age range. So if women want to have healthy kids, if they don't have kids in their 30s, what you're really saying is these women in their 30s they should go after men in their 20s to have healthy babies. Am I right about that?
No, absolutely not. They can have babies with people in their 30s. They can have babies with people in their 40s. It's important to also note that if you have babies sorry, biologically with someone who, and you guys are both in like your 40s and above, it doesn't mean that you're definitely going to have a baby that's not perfectly healthy and like normal in all ways. And it doesn't mean if you have babies in your 20s that your babies are going to come out, completely normal, average, whatever. Like there's a range, of course. And in your 40s, 40s and up, your likelihood of things changing for the egg quality and the sperm quality just goes up. But it doesn't mean that it's like 100% going to happen.
No,
But no,
I know people in their 30s. I mean, I know people in their 40s can have healthy babies. I'm just saying that if the woman wants the best chance of having a healthy baby, if she's in her 30s, she would have to find a guy that's like 20 or 25 years old. And we know how, those kind of guys are. They don't, they're not settling down with no woman in their 30s. They just end up becoming baby mamas or something.
I think plenty of men probably would settle down with a woman in their 30s, but I don't know. The difference is like, I think we're talking in like statistical like generalities, like these things happen statistically. I don't think we're trying to make any sort of implication about like women ought to do X or Y or that men need to do A or B. Like we're just kind of observing the facts, not trying to prescribe some sort of like you ought to live your life in this kind of way because of these things. Yeah.
Yeah, stats don't deal with us. So yeah, I understand that. Another issue that I had was you said you're against purity culture because all the shaming and stuff like that?
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah, so what if the religious guys who are looking for more like, I guess like women with very low body counts or women who are virgins? Let's say they don't outright shame the women who sleep around, but they just decide not to choose them because they sleep around. Is that better?
I mean, so my take on consent in relationships is that anyone can accept or reject a relationship request for anyone for any reason. Like even if it's as stupid as like, I only date people who exclusively poop on Wednesdays, that's something you can do even if it's extremely weird and doesn't make any sense, right?
Yeah.
Even if it's not tied to any facts, you can whatever you want. I absolutely think if somebody wants to only date people for their weird purity culture reasons, they are entitled to do that. But yeah, absolutely. The second you start shaming someone for it, you've become a piece of shit and you're perpetuating a culture that harms people actively.
Yeah. But like, do you think it harms men if men, like you have the impurity culture people, they'll shame men if they don't get enough sex? A lot of women, if the guys are virgins.
I think the main people who are, I don't know. I feel like when people are calling other people a virgin, it's usually like, I don't know.
I feel like Andrew Tate is who I see blaming men for like not getting enough girls. I don't really see people on the left or progressive. Yeah.
It feels like it's men who do that to men more often than women are doing that to men. And in my experience, and this is like so anecdotal, but in my experience, anytime I've ever seen a woman call a man a virgin, it's like in retaliation of something that they've said. Like it's like a way to like get back at them because they said something terrible. And then outside of that, it feels like it's men who say things like that. Actually, this is also in the book I was reading, and I think this is actually related. There's an interesting experience that men seem to have where there's like a renewing your man card type of thing where like your manhood has to be proved over and over again. And I think that experience exists for women, but not as blatantly as it does for men. So like for men, even talking about the people that you're having sex with and like being able to show off that you're capable of doing that ties into that like weird, like needing to prove your manhood all the time.
Yeah, I understand. Like most of the shaming, yours right. It do come from men towards other men. You ever watch I know it's anecdotal, but like I watched it. I like the other day. I was watching this Pop the Balloon show, and a guy came out, and he gave his name and stuff, and he said he was a virgin, and all the women just popped immediately. Like it was so fast. I think they all popped in sequence, and they just didn't like it. Like they didn't like. They thought he was weird. Guy was 35, but he was a virgin. They thought he was weird. If he didn't have kids at that age too.
Was that the only thing he said?
Even when. Well, no, he said he was well, he gave his credentials, what he do and stuff like that. But then when he mentioned that he was a virgin, they popped. Like all of them. Even when I was coming up, like I
was just gonna say, I think I don't. There's if somebody is openly shaming somebody for that, that is definitely a problem. But I feel like if you don't want to be with somebody who's a virgin, that's completely reasonable. I mean, it's if for no other reason than you want somebody like a long-term partner to be somebody who's going to be experienced and who's going to maybe understand how to engage with another person in the bedroom a little bit more. But if you're mocking him for it, that's a different thing. But we're talking about a dating show, right?
Yeah.
Where the implication is that you're going to end up with the person or go on a date or whatever.
There's people
I know
in the
it's
chat.
anecdotal. I know this.
There's people in the chat who are asking about what Pop the Balloon, what that show is. So basically, it's like, and Andrew, I've seen only clips of it, so correct me if I'm wrong. But it's so in this circumstance, it's a guy and then a whole lineup of girls who have a balloon, and they're holding the balloon, and then that person, the guy, is gonna tell them about himself, and if they hear something that makes them no longer want to date him, they pop their balloon.
Yeah. That's exactly where. Yep.
Okay. So, everyone's allowed to have a preference. I think dating shows like that are inherently kind of crappy because you're popping a balloon is meant. The reason they do that is because it's meant to give a reaction, and it's meant to there's an effect there versus someone just saying I would prefer someone who has a little bit more experience sexually, and best of luck. Hope you find someone that works for you. That experience is not the same when you're popping a balloon, but you're allowed to have whatever preference you want. You can date whoever you want, but for people who want to date someone who has had who's a virgin or who's only had one partner or a very low amount of partners or whatever, actually even if you want to date someone who has a lot of partners, the biggest thing that you should focus on is having a conversation about why that is. Why is it important to you to have a partner that has many partners? Why is it important to you that you have a partner that's a virgin? Really get to the root of what value are you trying to align on there?
Yeah. No, men get shamed if they want virgins. That's the truth. They do get shamed. If they want to, or even if not even a virgin, even if a girl has a low body count, if a guy says I only want a woman that's been with maybe one, maybe two guys,
The reason why men get shamed for that is because there's a huge double standard. So culturally, we're perfectly fine with men being able to have as many partners as they would like, and we don't feel the same way about women. There's also a lot of things that are thrown around that are just not true. If a woman has sex with a bunch of people, that her vagina is loose, which is not true. Your hymen also typically doesn't break. For 99% of vulva owners, your hymen doesn't break. So that's also a purity culture lie. So there's all of these other things that are tied to a woman's virginity that are meant to shame her. So it has a different weight, and there's a double standard.
But I don't even think double standards are inherently wrong. I mean, we all have double standards. I've heard women say they don't want guys who are short. They want guys who are 6 feet or above, and they're not 6 feet themselves. I think we all got.
I don't think that's a double standard. There are lots of men who won't date women who are very tall. I don't think that's a double standard. It works both ways.
Yeah.
And there are lots of women, or there are lots of men who won't date above a certain weight. That that double standard for like physical stuff exists, and I would argue that it exists more so for women than it does for men. Like women get to be very generous with the men that they accept.
Yeah, and I guess I would ask Andrew. Sorry, I was just going to ask you, Andrew. I don't. Why is it that you feel like you want to like come to bat for double standards here? Like what it sounds to me like, and tell me if I'm wrong. It could just be, I might not be accurate here, but it kind of sounds like you are dealing with some sort of emotional situation where you're feeling some kind of way because of some interaction you've had, and it makes you feel like you need to come here to go to bat for double standards, which is just weird because I feel like, isn't it just better to like live and let live? Like, why don't we just encourage people to be respectful, encourage people to like, to not like hold their values to other people or make other people feel bad for not meeting their personal values, and to just let people date whoever it is that's compatible for them, whether, whatever standard they have.
Yeah, but no, I understand. That's why I was saying, like, did y'all think it was like bad if he doesn't shame or anything, but he just says, I don't want to. Me personally, I'm not going to shame him, but I just don't want a woman who's a former sex worker or a former porn star or a former, whatever. He just wants what he perceives as a pure woman. Not outwardly calling these girls like derogatory names, but just saying, I don't want those kind of women. And there's still a problem with even doing that.
I think this is why Alyssa asked, though, you need to ask yourself, like, why do you feel like a woman who's done sex work or who's had a few extra partners or more than you, why do you feel like that makes her impure? And furthermore, what does impure mean? Like, impure to me sounds like dirty, rotten. There's something wrong with you. And
it's derogatory.
That's where it's gross to me. Yeah, exactly.
I think it's more of like most dudes, they can't really I'm not gonna say most dudes, but I'm gonna just say some guys, they can't really explain it. It's just an it factor. Like, we don't really know where it comes from. I hear some people say that it comes from hundreds of years of biology. If the kid is
no, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not biology. It's not biology. Where it comes from is it's cultural. We've decided that women having many partners makes her dirty and gross, but men are encouraged to have as many partners as they would like. Our body parts are, there's no difference between what happens to our body. Like a penis will stay the same and a vagina will stay the same, no matter how many partners you have. So
yeah,
for some reason, men get a free pass. And women get told that they're disgusting.
That's because women accept promiscuous dudes, but men don't accept promiscuous women. Women don't care if a man is a degenerate or if he's with 100.
Who's sleeping with the sex workers? Who is sleeping with the sex workers? You think, how do these sex workers have a job, Andrew?
They got them through the dudes. I agree.
Right. So they do sleep with whoever.
Andrew, I think it's a mistake to pretend that your disgust response is it's a mistake to assume that your disgust response is some like innate biological thing. Like, disgust is a biological response for sure, but it's culturally and like personally developed, right? Like, there's people who are disgusted by peanut butter, but I happen to quite like peanut butter, right? So like it's very clearly a thing that has some combination of cultural and personal relationships that causes somebody to develop a disgust response or a fondness for a certain thing. But like it's not the fact that you have a disgust response to women having a sexual history, that is purely culturally derived.
Maybe it could be a mix of both biology and culture.
It's not.
It's not.
It's not. And you want to know why? I could give you a really good reason why. I think this is a good reason. a woman could just lie to you and you wouldn't know the difference, and then you could have a wonderful sexual experience with her and a relationship with her and think that she's pure and perfect and all of the things that that fulfill you in a relationship and make you feel loved and seen and all the things you could ask for. She's not impure because she had sex with other people. That would not change who she is.
You could tell if she's impure.
No, you can't.
She got
No, you cannot.
Yeah, you can.
Andrew, no, you cannot. No, you cannot.
Look,
No, you cannot.
If she got a nose ring, if she got a septum piercing,
oh my fucking
everywhere,
God. Andrew, stop. Andrew, stop. Andrew, stop. Nobody needs to hear the rest of what you say. When you started that response with if she's got a nose ring, nobody needs to hear the rest of what you're going to say to know you're wrong.
That's crazy, Andrew. You don't think that there's virgins with their nose pierced?
I don't think. Not with the bull nose ring. I don't know. I don't know too many versions of. I don't know. Maybe.
What does having your nose pierced? What does having your nose pierced have to do with having sex? What are you talking about?
I don't know. I guess I'm on social media too much. Maybe I need to get off.
Yeah,
I think you're on social media a little too much.
You are. I told you this before, Andrew. We had this conversation before that some of the content that you watch is like doing something to your perception of the world. Like it's creating this perception of the world where everything is stacked up against you because you're a man and like there's a lot of like stuff going on sexually and whatever. It's creating this perception of the world for you that's, first of all, not the truth, but it's also not going to make your life easier. Like going through the world through the lens of like the podcasters that you are watching is not going to help you find a partner, and it's not going to make the world feel easier to you.
Yeah, but like, do you think that, like, I hear people say the podcast is not real life. Do you think that, the women that come on these podcasts and they say they have all these sky-high body counts, like whatever, fresh and fit, and, the host asks them their body counts, and the women be like 50, 100. One chick says she had 250. And, they think they just putting on a front, but this is not really the truth, or?
I don't know. I don't know these people. Some of them might.
But also,
yeah.
It also shouldn't matter to you. The amount of people that you have sex with has literally nothing to do with anything. It doesn't change anything about you physically. Like all of your body stays the same. And psychologically, there's not a straight line between the amount of people you have sex with and what happens to you psychologically. Like there are people who have sex with one person and are psychologically messed up for the rest of their lives. There are people who have sex with 250 people and have a wonderful relationship with sexuality. It doesn't work that way. The relationship of it doesn't work that way. And I would argue that people who've had more partners have more experience. Like they understand intimacy to a degree that someone who's never had sex does not understand. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, but if somebody slept with 250 people, there's something going on there. 250 people is ridiculous. I don't even think I talked to that many people in a year. That is crazy.
Andrew, if you're not talking to 250 people, you're not talking to 250 people in a year, you definitely need to go outside some more. Cause like, that is really not that many people. As far as like a body count, I don't know. There's a lot of reasons somebody could be having a lot of sex for sure. Hypersexuality can be associated with like risk-seeking behavior and certain other things for sure. But like, it doesn't necessarily mean that. That's Alyssa's whole point, is that it doesn't necessarily tell you anything about that person. Like it could for sure, but you don't know. And so it's better to not be judgmental or rude or shaming towards somebody for the choices that they've made, as long as it was all done with consent, as long as everybody was enthusiastic and happy about it. What's the harm? I don't understand what the problem is, other than you just personally don't like it.
I don't know. There's women with those high body
I'll
counts. They've
I'll
had.
tell you, Andrew. Can I tell you my theory about this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So my theory is it used to be that it was almost a requirement for survival for women to be married because they couldn't get a bank account, they couldn't get a credit card, they couldn't get a house. And this was not that long ago. This was like 70, 80 years ago. So
Yeah, that's fantastic.
why is that
Bro.
fantastic?
Stop. Andrew,
Hold
every
on.
time
I'm
I
gonna
think you're
finish
doing
my
better, you say something wild.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to finish my point and then we're going to revisit why you feel it's fantastic. Yeah, it was 50 years ago. So 50 years ago, women could not survive without a man. So now we are in a place where women can survive without a male partner. So men now have to figure out a way to make themselves valuable again because their value to women was tied to survival for so long. So now when we talk about how like the divorce rates are so high compared to what they were 50 years ago, well, no shit. The women literally were going to be on the streets if they had to try and divorce somebody. So now men had to try and figure out another way to make women feel like they need to be trapped into relationships with men as early as possible, make marriage a priority as early as possible, otherwise you lose your value. And so now we have this whole narrative that women have to get married early and they shouldn't have sex until they're married, because that's what makes them high value to these guys, because those same guys can't hold the survival over their heads anymore. That's what it feels like to me,
I
because
think
I can't understand like what is the benefit of shaming women? What is the benefit of wanting a woman who is a virgin and telling everyone else that they're whores, telling a girl with a nose ring that she's a whore? Like, what is the benefit to you? That doesn't make that woman is not going to want you as a partner because you're being awful to her. And any other decent woman would hear you be awful to another woman and say, you sound terrible and I don't want to date you. So what benefit is this bringing to you, Andrew?
Well, I want to address something that you said from before. You said that women, they had to stay with their husbands for survival. And now that they got their own credit cards and they can get jobs and stuff, now they just left their husbands. And I'm like, man, so you mean to tell me these women were with these guys and they didn't even love these guys. They was just there because they needed to survive. And then once they declared independence, because what they really wanted to do was run off with other dudes. Yeah, a lot of women, they get sick of their
Or be
husbands
by
over the years,
themselves, or be
Or
with
be by
women.
themselves.
and they want
Yeah.
women.
by themselves,
Women
or
are
be
never
with
by
women.
themselves. There's always some dude in their house.
What happened to the cat lady thing? You guys were obsessed with calling women cat ladies, single lonely cat ladies.
The cat lady thing is for marriage. It don't mean that they're not getting sex. These guys come by, hit it, and then leave. You know, they not committing. I'm not saying cat ladies don't get no sex. They do get sex.
Andrew, can you tell me, do you know any women in your real life who fit the stereotype that you're talking about? Or is this just, again, something you've heard from some podcaster online? This notion of they've always got a woman in their house who just hits it and leaves. I feel like you probably don't know a single woman who would fit that description.
I do. My sister, she a huge, she sleep around a lot.
Good for her. Do you guys talk much?
Nope.
Checks out.
Right.
Yeah, I don't want to be associated. She got dudes coming in and out of her house.
I bet she doesn't want to be associated with you
that.
either. You're really sexist, and you say a lot of really mean things about people who are doing nothing to hurt you.
Andrew, this is also it's interesting because you called the first time you called, you were talking, not first time, I think the second time you called and I spoke to you, you were asking me why incels get so much hate. And presumably this is
Yeah.
not that you yourself are an incel, but that there's a lot of stress for you around what your future is going to look like as you try and find a partner. Like as you're trying to see like what woman will fit into the life that you want to build in the future, like how that will look for you. That seems to be like the big sort of like anchoring stress in this. I will tell you right now, it
Not
makes no sense, zero sense to listen to these podcasts where men are calling women whores. Men are saying that they aren't smart. Men are like the entire podcast is degrading women. Why would you think that that would help you find a woman? That's going to push you further and further and further away. What you're doing is you're building a case for why you hate most women. That's what those podcasts are doing. That's why I told you forever ago. I said these podcasts are doing something to you. They are not helping you find women that you have common ground with. They are helping you to find reasons to hate women. That's not going to help.
Well, do you think that there's legitimate cases for us to why guys hate women, or it's just like they don't have no legitimate reasons? Like it's just women
There's
are
no
just
legitimate reason to hate an entire group of people, especially when that group of people accounts for half of the humans alive on the fucking planet, Andrew.
well. What about some of them?
You can hate some individuals. I hate plenty of individuals, but hating a class of people is wild, dude.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. Well, the reason why these podcasts grow so big is because of what women do to these men from time to time.
No,
No.
these are
Not
men
as a
who
whole.
these are men who refuse to take responsibility for literally anything. It is everybody else's fault that they are the way that they are.
Yeah.
Like that's
And
the pattern that we see.
they're using centuries old tropes. Like they're not coming up with original ideas or original ways of framing any of this stuff. They're literally just using the most like basal, like deep, like automatic thing you're taught as a child about how to like respond with resentment towards a group of people. Like it's not creative or like rooted in fact. Like no.
Yeah. Okay.
These
One
these
last thing before you
podcasts.
get to other callers. I know you got to get. I'm sorry.
Sure, go ahead. No, it's okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know you got to get to other callers. I'll just go one last thing. Like the incel guys. I think I called in last time about that. Do you actually think? I mean, do you believe that they really hate women, or do you believe that they spread lies when they say women pick guys based on looks, then personality, and then money? Because the whole
So,
incel trope is looks,
Andrew,
money, looks, personality, and then money.
okay, so I'll tell you the reason why I think that incels hate women is because and I said this to you when we talked about incels the first time, if you are labeling yourself involuntarily celibate, you said I have no responsibility involuntarily. I have no responsibility for the reason why I'm not having sex with people. So that means that they have looked at all of the women around them and said it's your fault. It's not mine. It's not mine. So that indicates to me that you do hate women. That incels feel like they do hate women. And that's based on the label of being an incel. You decided it's involuntary that you are not having sex. It is everybody else's fault by default, by the definition of what an incel is. That's the first thing.
But
The second thing is, if you're talking about this like weird hierarchy of the way that women choose men, it is always going to be more nuanced than that. Always, always, always. And we've had this conversation before too, where maybe the looks are the things that get you through the door with some people, but personality goes a hell of a lot way further. It goes a hell of a lot way further. And when you're talking about when you're talking about, because we all get old, we all get ugly, it's gonna happen, like, and everybody knows
Mhm.
that. And also, Andrew, you're 19, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so as you get older, the priorities of the women around you are also going to change. Like the women around you are also 19 and like figuring out their type and the people that they want to date for the first time. So you guys are all like like you couldn't pay me any amount of money to be 19 and dating again because it's fucking hard.
God, no.
It's a nightmare, but it gets easier as you get older because people start to understand, okay, I thought that I wanted somebody who was going to be like, works in an office, makes a lot of money, works in finance. And now I know that like my person is like bisexual musician, tours around the country. Like literally the polar opposite. But it took me until I was 31, almost 32 to realize that. So like it just takes time. Give it time. Like 19, you should not be resigning yourself to being an incel. You have so much time to figure all of it out.
I mean, if I would have seen the evidence of these women picking guys who are, not conventionally attractive, I believe it. But I'm in college, and when I see that most of the women, they go to all the dudes who are super attractive. I have yet to see any women go to the guys who look average or below average. I never seen it.
You know what? The other thing,
I had
Andrew.
a friend.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Yeah, I had a friend. He did a social experiment where he set up a dating website of a super attractive guy, and he edited the photo. He put a Nazi swastika on his shoulder, and if the photo was of an attractive guy, and within like 4 days, it had 374 matches.
That's terrifying.
Of women. Yeah.
Terrifying.
It's not like women are immune to being physically attracted to people. I don't think that's what people are saying. I think we're saying that the incel rhetoric that like that women need a guy who's like looks maxing, that all women, that's what their standard is completely detached from reality. And also I think it's just like, again, more evidence to like the kind of culture that you're engaging with online. And listen, this isn't also bashing you. Like I think everyone has this problem right now of like their perception of reality being skewed by the content that they're consuming online. But like there's lots of like viral couples whose like whole shtick is that one of them is super fucking hot and the other one is like traditionally ugly, and like that's kind of their whole thing. So like it's very clearly just like not this universal rule. Like
yeah, it's not.
Everyone has like a physical attraction thing, and everyone has their different standards that they like, whether it's personality or whatever. Sorry, Alyssa, go ahead.
Yeah. It's also like, Andrew, the good news in this is the world is a lot kinder and women are a lot kinder than the content that you're consuming. So that's the good news. I'm telling you, I'm giving you the truth because I would not lie to you. They are kinder than the way that these podcasts paint women to be. So, and the way that you get a woman who really cares about you and wants to support you through all things in life and also a great sex life and all these kinds of things is by working on your own stuff. I know it's cliche and I know it's like not the answer you want to hear, but I said this to you before, like find a hobby, get a really nice circle of friends that you really enjoy. Friends who are not engaging in this conversation are really important. Like if you really truly want change, I literally am a relationship coach. You can email me and I will email you back and I will give you things that you can try.
Yeah, no, yeah, there are cells that are working on it. I think one guy he got a leg lengthening surgery. Another guy had his jaw restructured, and he was able to pull women. He was doing a vlog, and he was able to pull a bunch of women once he had his leg lengthening surgery. He was a short guy, but he boosted his height to like 6'2", I think.
Cosmetic surgery, Andrew, needs to be a thing that you deeply want for you, because that's what's going to make you feel good, not for other people. The second you start getting cosmetic surgery because you want other people to validate you, you are inevitably going to feel hollow after and to want more things to change, because it's not going to be enough. If you're not fundamentally changing who you are as a person and getting your self-worth from internally, no amount of surgery and subsequent sex is going to fix that internal hollowness.
Yeah. It's
Uh,
there's a
Yeah.
reason why cliches end up being cliches, and unfortunately it's because a lot of them are true. So like doing the work, finding a person, Andrew, a legit therapist would change your fucking life. It would change
For
your
real.
life for real.
Therapy
Like it
is
really
terrible.
would.
Therapy
Therapy
does not work.
What do you, Andrew, when you have these phone calls with
That's
us,
just factually untrue.
you're almost getting free therapy more than anything else. Like we go back and forth with you, but like a lot of this is you working out all of these things that you're learning online in real time. You're working them out with us and you're figuring it out in real time.
The inc-
Like the
but the incels that went to therapy, they ended up committing suicide. Like the therapist if you're really, really ugly, there's nothing a therapist can do for you.
No, I'm sorry. That's
Like a
just
therapist can't magically.
I'm sorry. I'm going to stop you there, because that's just like a horrible thing to spread. Going to therapy is not going to make you commit suicide. Therapy has been evaluated for well over 100, probably close to 150 years now as a practice. It is thoroughly evidence-based. There are so many different modalities, and different ones work for different people. If you're just going to a therapist and having a bad experience and then walking away thinking therapy doesn't work, it's because you did therapy wrong. You should have a consultation with like 3 or more, if you can, therapists, and pick the one that works best for you, and then try that one out for like another 6 months or so. Like therapy is very much a personalized practice, but it is very evidence-based. There's so much data, like an insane amount of data behind the efficacy of therapy. Talk therapy is very effective, and especially for people who are in your position, Andrew.
There's a comment in the chat that I think is like so pertinent. It says, Andrew doesn't want change. He wants the world to change for him. And that's exactly what it feels like. You want everyone else around you to have to change and adjust to fit your expectations, but you don't want to do any of the change yourself.
How men change. No, I just told you how incels are working on their change. They're literally doing it.
No, I'm not talking about physical changes. I'm not talking about physical changes. I'm not talking about physical changes. I'm talking about everything else. But are they happy?
I'm saying the physical changes did help them.
Are they happy?
Yeah.
Are
Some of
they?
them are getting
I don't know
women,
if I buy that.
From physical changes.
I don't know if I buy that.
Yeah, I
Andrew,
can send you. Yeah,
there
I
are
can show you
plenty
some
of
videos
people
on
who
it.
are not physically attractive who find partners. Like Steve Buscemi is like one of the weirdest looking people I've ever seen in my life, and he absolutely has a wife or had a wife. I don't know if they're still married. Steve Buscemi.
Yeah, but okay, like if Danny DeVito and Henry Cavill both approached you with the same personality, which one are you picking, Alyssa, if you were single?
If I'm being so honest, legitimately Danny DeVito, because I think he's really funny. But that's my point.
Yeah,
is like,
okay.
I love Danny. It's Always Sunny is like one of my favorite shows ever. It's so funny. But truly, the point is,
Andrew desperately wants women to listen to him, but doesn't listen to women telling them what they think.
Right. The point is there's going to be someone who goes for Henry Cavill, but there is someone who goes for Danny DeVito. There is someone who goes for Steve Buscemi. There is someone who goes for... Someone in the chat also mentioned there's that show, My 600-Pound Life. All of those people have partners. There are people for you, Andrew.
I agree. Okay, do you think most women would pick Henry Cavill or Danny DeVito?
It doesn't matter about most women. It doesn't matter about most women. Someone will pick Danny DeVito. Someone will pick Steve Buscemi. So you can't tell me that you're involuntarily celibate because someone will pick you. You have to make yourself lovely to be around.
I mean, yeah,
'Cause
I
if
guess.
you're
I mean,
gonna-
if you
if you
get
are-
rejected
if you are-
200 times, maybe you'll get one guy,
if you
one person.
find someone who, if a woman finds you and she's like, oh, actually, he's really cute, and she starts talking to you, and the only thing that you can talk about is how, God, you hope she hasn't had sex with a bunch of people because that would make her a whore, and men are this, and women are that, and women, like, that's not making you a pleasant person to be around. Like, this is poisoning your fucking brain.
There is I don't know who it is, but there was a viral TikTok that I know I saw like a couple months ago. I think it's probably years old, of this dude who's like a little bit bigger, who's going up to like really, really gorgeous women in some city and being like, making some sort of like self-deprecating kind of comment about relationships. And almost every single one was like, oh, I would date you. They're like, yeah, you seem really
Right.
nice. You're cute and you're funny. Like almost all of them immediately said like, no way. I would totally date you. So it's just, I don't
you
know.
said he
This,
was
it
a-
really
like a-
is, it
like a big guy.
really is like a character. Yeah, he was like a really big guy. It really just sounds like a complete character flaw to me, Andrew. Like, not like you personally, but anyone who thinks that they're involuntary celibate, or like, oh, it's just the problem is that I'm not tall enough, or my jaw just isn't square enough, or anything like that. It is completely a character flaw. Like, with the right personality, the right like sort of approach to life, if you treat people the right way, like a lot of people will completely gloss over and not even give a shit about how you look if you make them feel special and chosen and valuable, and like they know they can count on you when things get hard, or you know, if they run into a rough patch in life, that you're not going to bail on them. People want stability, they want to feel comfortable, they want to feel valued. There's like a song that's blowing up right now where the girl, I don't remember what it is, I just heard it on the radio, where the whole thing is like, sue me, I want to be wanted. Like, story of I feel like every girl's life, I want to be wanted. Like that is so much more valuable than wanting to have Henry Cavill as your partner.
Yeah, I mean, most guys, they just haven't seen any evidence of women wanting.
You're 19. I
conventionally-
promise you, it'll come.
Yeah.
If you are committed to being a person who's lovely to be around, who's nice, who's pleasant to be around, it will come. 19 is way too early to call it, dude. It is way too early for you to throw in the towel and say that it's not working for you.
Okay, all right, I'll take your word for it. All right, it was nice talking to y'all.
Promise. All right, Andrew. Have a good night.
See you later, Andrew.
All right.
You know what's funny is, growing up, my mom specifically went out of her way, assuming that I was a little boy, was always talking about like liking, when I had like a crush on a girl, or when like I was talking to a girl, like making sure that I was talking about like who she was as a person and the things she was interested in, making sure I treated them with respect and not being like, Now, granted, I also had my father, who was an absolute sexist pig, who was giving me the complete opposite messaging. But that being said, like, there's lots of people who are being raised with that messaging of like valuing somebody's character and like other elements about them. And I can tell you, like, for a fact, I have never really thought much about how hot, like, definitely I see people and I'm like, wow, they're so hot. Oh my God. But like, when I'm thinking of like a partnership, that is like maybe third or fourth on the totem pole. Like, I value so many other things so much more.
100%.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's like, I'm actually really tired of hearing over and over again that we're lying when we say that. We're just not. Like, we're just not lying. Like, I don't think, like, most of the people that I've dated are not like supermodel-y looking people. Like, I think they've all been so stinking cute, and I loved them all. It sounds like it's like a football team, and you know what? Maybe it is. You'll never know. You'll never know. But yeah, like any of like my ex-boyfriends, whatever, they've all been very cute to me. But I've certainly had the experience of like breaking up with them and my friends being like, okay, I'm really glad that that's over because he was not that cute. Like it just happens, like it, and whatever.
Mhm.
Like but it's not about that. It's about all of the other things that you have in common. I even tell some of my coaching clients too, when they have conversations with women that they're interested in, or if they're like nervous about having a conversation with women that they're interested in. If you can walk away from that conversation and you've learned 3 things about them, then you've done a good job. But if in that conversation you've learned literally nothing about them, then like what was that? You didn't make a connection. It wasn't about making a connection for you. It was about trying to get this girl's phone number or whatever it is. Like 3 things is not a lot. You should be able to do that.
Also, let's amend that to like 3 things about their character, because I feel like Andrew's going to be like, oh yeah, so your body count,
right,
how devoted to Christ you are, like,
right, exactly, yeah, like other things. God, I especially with everything that happened over the weekend, I am so worried about young men. I really am, and I'm like,
I know,
I don't know what to do. I really am concerned, and that's why I will always take Andrew's calls, because I want him to turn a corner on this so bad.
I was saying that we had him on. I did a Cus I Wanna last Friday, and chat like they were tonight was kind of being like, oh, like ban Andrew, when we going to ban Andrew? And like I feel like Andrew, and I said this, he gives a lot of concessions that like typical conservatives don't give, and will like actually kind of hear some things out. And so I'm actually really hopeful, especially because like you said, he's just 19. He's still like yes, legally an adult, but like a baby in life. And like there's so much more room to grow. I'm pretty hopeful that he might turn a corner. I don't think he doesn't need to, stop believing in God or whatever, but I do hope that he starts to get more of his self-worth from internally and not from whether or not women that he thinks should be attracted to him are like giving him the time of day or whatever.
Yeah, that's the same. Like, I will always take his calls, because sometimes it's actually not even about Andrew. It's about the person who's on the fence, who's listening. And like Andrew is like one side of the conversation, and we're the other, like we're like the angel and devil on his shoulders. And so you never know when that reaches somebody, especially because these calls get saved to YouTube and sometimes they're clipped and whatever. So like those conversations are still really important. But like you said, he does like try to listen to some of it too. Like not all of it obviously lands, but he's pretty respectful in all of the calls, and whatever. We've given
one
Andrew,
y'all did together wasn't too respectful when he was
I don't remember the first one.
Women whores if they had sex with more than 5 people or something like that.
Oh,
and
yes.
I think he implicated you in that, and like lots of it was a wild call. But listen, he's gotten better, and I agree. It's not always about Andrew either. It's also about, I think there's a lot of people who are like Andrew and are listening to all these podcasts, these like manosphere style podcasts, and should they be listening in? Maybe they'll kind of be like, oh. Also, oh my God, therapy doesn't work. That is the most evil lie that they've taught this group of people. Like,
that's what I freaked out at him for the last time I talked to him. We had a very nice call, and then at the very end, he was like, one more thing, I think therapy doesn't work. And I was like, I actually don't believe that you think that. And now you've pissed me off, because there's no way that you're telling me that therapy, which, as you said, Arden, has been around for at least 100 years and studied closely for at least 100 years, you're telling me it doesn't work? And then I also was like, okay, and all of these girls who don't want to sleep with you, who all go to therapy, because he said women waste all of their money on therapy, but they're all fine and it's a waste of money? What are we talking about? The male loneliness epidemic, the women are okay, and they're all wasting their money on therapy. It's like the Venn diagram is just not, the math is not mathing.
It's so funny because my therapist I started at the beginning of the year is one of the best therapists I've ever had. We actually just really clicked in a way that I haven't clicked with any of my therapists before. We're literally we were born a minute apart. They were born at like 3:47 on the exact same day, and I was born 3:46.
Whoa. Same year
Which
too?
we were
Or
like,
different years.
yeah, same year, same day, almost the exact same time.
That's crazy.
The way we found out was because I mentioned my birthday, and they were like, "Oh, that's kind of weird. Do you happen to know what time?" And I was like, "Yeah, I think it was like 3:46 in the morning." They were like, "Stop, you're joking, right?" And I was like, "No." And they were like exactly a minute apart. But they use
Whoa.
the sort of new adapted version of Freud's methods, right? Like we don't really do like how Freud handled. I forget what's it called. Is psychoanalytic, I think, approach. We don't typically do it in that way anymore, but it's been changed a lot and kind of rebranded and like respun in a way that's actually efficacious. They use that method, and it has been like really like rocking for me. And so like
Wow.
even methods that were kind of founded over 100 years ago are still being used today effectively. Like, yeah.
Yeah, it's so sad to
Prophet's
see
secret
him.
twin? Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's sad to see someone like really not want to be open to therapy because it would change his life. It would change his life
Mhm.
if he let it, but you know, whatever. Until then, we
For
will be the
real.
unpaid therapists for him.
We get paid, just not by him.
We get paid, not by him. Yes, not by him. Get your super chats in. Get your super chats in because we suffer through an Andrew call pretty much every episode now. So get your super chats in. $5 or more, we'll read them at the end of the show. And make sure that you are liking the video as well, the stream down below. And if you're not subscribed, the hell? Subscribe.
What's wrong with you?
That would be dumb idiot behavior, which we don't tolerate on this channel. Okay. We have 2 calls, both from atheists. Do you have a preference of which you would like to take?
I think 5-2 sounds more interesting, maybe.
Okay. All right. Bill. Do you hear us, Bill?
Oop.
Bill?
Did he get pulled in? It didn't look like it worked on my end.
Oh, I see him on my end.
Sorry.
Oh, there you are.
I was muted.
No worries.
Sorry,
Hi, Bill. How's it
good.
going?
I'm doing awesome. Never had a bad day.
Oh, I love that
Nice.
so much.
I was very wrapped by the last call. That's why I had it muted. So I was.
Yeah, it's always
We
a
were
crazy
all-
one.
I
Always a crazy one.
I don't want to talk about the last call too much, but when I hear young guys like that, as I'm 40, I just turned 41. I want to sit them down and be like, it's not going to be like that forever. I was a virgin until I was 22. I
22 is still young.
Ago. Well, I'm just saying, like, I know that's why he's saying, he's like, oh, I'm 19.
Yeah.
It's over. I'm like, dude, it's really not. It's going to be okay. Like, you got to stick it in there. Like, I am not some supermodel looking guy. Up until 6 months ago, I've never made more than $40,000 a year in my life. I'm slightly balding and got a dad bod, and I've never had an issue with getting ladies to want to spend time with me. I don't know.
And you know,
This has
Bill,
not been
can I
my
just say,
experience.
it sounds a lot like you're a pleasant person to be around. And I'm going to guess that has a lot to do with it.
Well, you know, I do this weird thing where I actively listen to the women that I'm spending time with. So that way
Isn't
when they
that
tell me the
shocking?
keys to unlock, that way when they tell me the keys to unlock wanting to spend more time with me, I can then implement those things. It works wonders.
Yeah. Well, I hope Andrew heard this part of the call. And Bill, did you say you were in your 40s now?
I just turned 41 in August.
Okay. So now looking back on it, don't you also look at 20? I'm 31 and I look at 22 and I'm like, oh, you've only just been born. 22 is still so young. Like 19 is so young. There were like a million different versions of me between 19 and 31. Like there's, you know, you change so much and like life changes so much. Like you can't give up at 19.
I can't, like, and as a guy, like I struggle with mental health stuff. Therapy is amazing. Go to it. It will immeasurably help you. I can't begin to say, like, just, oh my God, therapy is such a great thing. You gotta go to therapy. Everybody should go to therapy. But I moved around a lot and was bullied a lot. I didn't have dates to proms. I didn't have dates to homecomings. But like I was bullied. I had some really dark times and stuff, but I luckily had a very supportful family and mental health professionals to help me get through it. And that's what allowed me to get to like where I'm at now, where I can say I've never had a bad day.
That's awesome. That is so awesome.
Sorry not to go off on a whole thing, but
what a beautiful case study right after that call. That's awesome. And I appreciate you sharing.
Yeah, it was a good palate cleanser.
Yeah.
But I can also super sympathize because like if I was 17, 18, 19, I didn't have that. Like the internet wasn't a thing like that back then. And if I had a bunch of Andrew Tates and Fresh and Fit podcasts pouring all that kind of poison in my ear, I don't know that I necessarily would have come out the other side. Luckily, I was very lucky to have an amazing father who didn't have an ounce of toxic masculinity in him, and very,
that's so good.
Strong, independent women, and like my mother and my sister in my life. So, like I was very lucky in those regards. But like I can fully see a version of the universe where I got entrapped by that kind of nonsense and it went a different way.
Yeah. Yeah. I appreciate you sharing this with us. I think that's such like a beautiful example of how life will get easier and it'll get harder in some ways and it'll get easier in others, for sure.
Yeah. And here's the kicker. I'm still single. I'm not married. I don't have any kids, but that's okay because I'm happy with me, and just being in a relationship isn't going to make me happy with me. Like, you know what I mean? Like you got to be happy with yourself. And being in a relationship with somebody isn't going to change that. You got to be able to look at your life and be like, whether I find somebody or I don't, that's okay because I'm, I still have wonderful relationships that are loving. Just because they're not romantic doesn't mean they're any less valuable.
Period.
Absolutely.
And you know what? I bet you learned a lot of that in therapy.
I don't know what you're talking about. That's crazy.
Okay, so you wanted to talk about flirting. You want to talk about flirting in a professional setting. Please tell us more about this.
Okay, so as I said, I'm older. I've been doing the online dating thing for so long. I don't know how people meet in the wild naturally anymore. And so I have a new job. Like I said, that I started about 6 months ago. And I have to go to a bank frequently to make deposits for, stuff for work. And there's this teller there that I feel like there's been some sort of like mutual flirting. She just kind of moved here from down south and is excited about her first fall and winter and stuff. And we've been just kind of like chit-chatting. And I understand that, you're at work, you're at the grocery store, you're at the gym, you're not trying to have some guy give you his number or get your number or whatever. So I guess I'm trying to come up with a way to maybe like broach something. I don't know. Or should I just totally leave it alone? I'm being a creep and, I'm looking too far into it because somebody smiled at me.
No, I think there's men get really nervous to ask women out now because they are nervous that they're going to make them uncomfortable. But any of the men who are nervous they're going to make a woman uncomfortable is not going to make them uncomfortable. It's the men who don't care. It's the men who when they hear a no, they don't care and they like can't read the room. Those are the people we're worried about. So I wouldn't worry about that. And it's also really kind that you're trying to be respectful of like she's in her workplace and I'm trying to like be mindful of what the setting is. I think what you should do is if you have a business card or you can write down your name and your phone number, if you just say, I'd love to take you out for a coffee sometime. You're new to the area. Maybe I could take you to like whatever my favorite coffee place or take you to like go see the leaves or whatever. Like think of an activity that's like neutral. That's not like going for drinks or going for dinner. And once you're out of the professional setting and you're spending time with her, then you can also explore because it's entirely possible that she'll immediately understand like, oh, you're asking her out on a date. But if it's in a professional setting and you don't want to be like too heavy-handed with the flirting, you could just say, I'd love to take you to this farmer's market that's happening over the weekend. Here's my number. If you're interested, let me know. If not, no worries, and I'll see you next time I'm at the bank. And then just sort of leave it at that. And if she reaches out to you, then she's at a minimum interested in being your friend, but is probably interested in more. I think most women can like pick up what you're putting down most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Co-sign all of that. Like I know, like I've always said, like I actually don't mind if a guy is like shooting his shot or something. Like the big problem that I think all women have with that is like, one, not having any rapport first. So like, approaching a complete stranger is a little weird, but like someone who you've had like multiple little chit chat conversations with, excellent starting point. But also it's really about like Alyssa said, the fear of not being able to handle a no. Like that is like 100% of the problem. I don't think anyone like, adult women can handle themselves. I think if somebody asks them out and they're like, no thanks, I'm not interested, it's the concern that if they say no, that like you're gonna have a meltdown and like be aggressive or shout names at them or something like that. So the fact that you're coming at this from the position you are, I wouldn't be worried at all. Like if anything, even if she said no, I think she'd probably still take it as flattering.
Well, yeah, because I genuinely don't even understand how women exist in American society today without just expecting, like it's an action movie, just like a pack of ninjas to pop out from around a corner to attack you. Like
it do be like that sometimes. But I think most of the time, like Arden said, it's like most women will feel flattered even if they're not interested. Like the woman that you're talking to is a full-grown adult. If she's not interested, it's her responsibility to be like, I appreciate you, I appreciate that so much. I'm seeing somebody, or I'm not dating right now. Like women have a million ways that they know to say no. And if she's really not interested, she'll tell you. And at that point, you can just be like, okay, see you next time I'm at the bank. And you also have to remember you've been dating for a while, so I'm sure you also know this, and you also have been in therapy, that rejection often has nothing to do with you. So like, don't take it personal if she decides it's not a good fit.
As someone who's worked with the public basically the last 20 plus years, like, and it's gotten so much worse since COVID. I was working at a pharmacy where we were giving out the vaccine during COVID. Oh my God, the stories I could tell you.
Oh my goodness.
But
I can't imagine.
But like the thing I always tell myself when you get those like blow ups and those, bananas people, that's got nothing to do with me. There's something else going on in their life with their partner or their kids or their job. And there's enough power discrepancy here that they think that they can take advantage of that and treat me like crap. So I was going to let that roll off my back and, not let you shop here anymore because I'm the manager.
Period. Okay, well, do you feel like you have a good plan in place for asking this woman out?
Yeah, I was actually, it's funny you mentioned it because I was already kind of leaning in the direction of like when I go in to make a deposit, like slipping into the paperwork, like my number and just like, hey, I'd love to take you out for coffee. If not, no worries. I'll never bring it up again so you don't feel embarrassed or whatever. Maybe I don't even need to add that much context, but I was kind of already heading down that road a little bit. So for you to confirm it was kind of nice.
Yeah, and I don't think you need to even give the if not, no worries, like right away. I think that like sort of diminishes the ask a little bit. Like ask because you want to. You want to ask her out. And it's like, when women want to be asked out, they want you to feel like, yeah, I want to ask you out, like confident about it and sure about it. So don't immediately give it the sort of like, and if not, no worries, ask her out. If she doesn't want to go out with you, she'll let you know. And then after that, you can say, you get to set the tone after that. So you get to set the tone of like, it's not awkward. It's not awkward unless you make it awkward. So next you'll be like, okay, great. I'll see you next time we're at the bank. And like, that's it. See ya.
Cool. So you think it should be a no? I should straight up ask her?
I think so. I mean, if you write it on, you could do it on a note also, but then you risk, I think you're going to be, if it were me, if she didn't reach out to you, I'd be like, well, maybe she didn't see the note. Maybe it fell out. Maybe she lost it. Like
Mhm.
I would be, I think it's better to just get like the instant
I hadn't
response
thought of
from
that
her.
until you just said it. So.
I'm just thinking this is where my anxiety would go, Bill. But I think if you ask her right away, then you get an answer right away. And then
Yeah.
it sort of like rips the Band-Aid off too a little bit.
I guess my only trepidation with that is that, like, it's, you know, she's like the bank teller, so like you probably want to wait for a time when there's nobody else in line and stuff, and I don't want to embarrass her in front of her coworkers and stuff. But yeah, I get totally
right.
get
That's
what
probably
you're saying.
fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
think that's fair. Like waiting for a good context, but also don't like. I feel like you can't set the bar too high on that though, because that's going to be kind of one of those the moment's never perfect things, and kind of just like
Fair.
yeah. So
If
you know,
there's a-
there's a sweet spot though. Yeah.
I wonder if
Yeah.
there is a lot of people, if it is a good idea to write it down on a note. I don't know. What do you think,
I
Arden?
feel-
Because now I'm like, maybe that is a good option.
I feel like you could do both. You know, you could have it down on a note and just be like, you know, hey, no pressure, but I would love to take you out for coffee, like you were saying, and you know, here's my number, and just like leave it at that. And
Yeah.
you know, if she sounds excited and keeps the conversation going, then like good for you. And if not, you can just be like, no worries, see you next time I'm coming. Or, you know, and then if she doesn't show up next time, then you know why.
Yeah. And also,
Well, that would
she's
be the
gonna-
worst. Oh my
I
God,
feel
that's
like it
terrible.
if someone asked me out in front of my coworkers, I wouldn't feel embarrassed. I'd be like, well, I'm wearing this shirt every day until I
Right.
die.
I feel like that's guy-coded behavior.
Well, you know, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
Sorry. Well, no, I genuinely thank you for the advice. I will take it on. I appreciate it. You're two of my favorite thinkers, and you're also happen to be women, so I figured your advice would be good.
Oh, thank you so much, Bill. That's really nice. I'm happy you called. Call back and let us know how it goes.
I will try to do that. I will definitely try to do that whenever it happens. Like you said, I got to wait for my sweet spot. So.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. Well, keep us updated. Thank you so much for
Yeah,
calling.
let us know how it
and-
goes.
Yeah, we'll
I
talk
I
to you
really
soon.
want an update on this. I'll be so excited for you.
Me too.
All right. You can help me.
Bye,
plan the
Bill. Have
date.
a good
How's
rest of
that?
your night. Oh, I missed what you
Bye.
said there. I talked over you.
Oh, I just said you
Oh.
can help me plan the date.
Oh,
Okay.
perfect. Okay, yes. Okay.
Easy. Fun. Later, Bill.
All right, Bill. Bye.
Night.
Sorry, I made that
Oh, I
so
just
awkward,
looked-
but I cut him off.
I just looked at chat and people are mentioning that slipping a note to a bank teller is kind of burglar behavior. So
Oh my
maybe,
God.
maybe a note is a bad idea.
That's
I feel like a business
so
card with a phone
funny.
number should not
Yeah,
be read
that's
as
not so bad.
a problem.
Yeah.
Business card with a phone number, clean and easy. Like,
That's so funny.
I don't know.
But also, I mean, I'm sure that they're not going to like immediately assume that he's trying to rob the bank.
Yeah, especially if he's been in multiple times. I feel like that wouldn't
It'd
be.
be fine. That
And
is
like, if you were
funny,
going to do that, would you come in like unmasked, like just exposing your face? Like, I don't know. This
That would
seems
be
a little weird.
bold.
In today's day and age, there's cameras everywhere.
I know.
Alrighty. How many calls do we have left? Oh, only one on the line right now.
Only one. Only one.
Are we
okay.
gonna close the lines, producer? We're at 90 minutes. I mean, I guess we could probably leave it for one more call. If I guess if we get through this and nobody else is here, then we can be done. And okay, yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. And final reminder, get your super chats in and like the video. If you are watching this and you're not subscribed, what are you doing? Subscribe to this channel so you know every time we go live. And you get
Support
to see
us on
all of the rest of the
Patreon.
shows. Yes. Patreon.com/calltheline. And
That's right.
you get
I think
sorry.
we're doing our Zoom Q&A with Justin from the Deconstruction Zone. I don't know if we have the second one sorted yet, but that's who our Zoom Q&A will be this month. So if you want to hang out with Justin, ask him any questions that you think like maybe wouldn't fit in a call, that is the perfect time to do it. So you can go support us on Patreon, patreon.com/calltheline. get access to that.
Yay! Amazing. Okay, I'm gonna pull in Nyx, who is calling about dating
Hi.
apps, lots of stuff. Hi, Nyx.
Hi. I'm nervous.
No worries.
And I'm Alyssa, and this is Arden. You like that's a good dad
Hello.
joke, right?
Yeah, I
okay,
wish
what did
it
you want
wasn't
to?
as.
No, go ahead.
I wish I was
Sorry.
less nervous.
Shake it off. You got it. You're fine. Everyone in the chat is going to support you, and everything is going to be so great. And your question also is one that people are going to want to hear and have answered also. So, or they'll want to hear us talk about it. Okay, so tell us why you're calling today.
Okay, I have a couple questions, and I'll just do the one that I want the most, that is the most important for me right now. I am autistic, and I'm trying to start dating, and I've never dated before. I'm in my mid-20s, which is really hard because unlike that other caller, being a virgin is not always a good thing because you feel like you've missed milestones that would get you to being doing things.
Right.
But I've been trying to get on dating apps, and I'm worried I'm putting too much information. But also, if I don't put enough information, I'm going to get people that I really don't want to talk to. Specifically, I really don't want to date a Trump voter. And I know there's been some problems with that, like them pretending that they're not.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So how, I don't know how much information I should put in stuff like that.
Well, I'll say Nyx. I'll tell you my horror story. I dated a guy for over a year who lied by omission about being a Trump supporter. So that was crazy. Yeah. Lied by anytime it would come up, he just would say nothing and dismiss it. Isn't that crazy? And then I found out and immediately broke up with him. And he was like, "Are you serious?" And I was like, "Are you serious?" Crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah. Oh my
Crazy
God.
That would be an automatic,
again?
Nope.
Yeah, it was an automatic no. I was like, that's crazy. But I think, I don't know. Part of me is like maybe you use, first of all, including that you don't want to date somebody who voted for Trump is completely fine. I think now more than ever, that is so understandable. So I wouldn't worry about that being on your profile because the people who don't want to see that, the people who are going to be turned off by that are going to be turned off by that, and you don't want to date them anyway. So put it on there. If that's important to you, put it on there. And then for everything else, it really depends. Because you're also going to see the other person's profile. So you don't have to go out or talk to everybody who wants to go out with you, unless you just want the practice and you want to just explore and see what you actually are interested in. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I think we were saying earlier that when you're approaching somebody and you want to take them out or you want to ask them out, maybe it's a good idea to have in mind, if you want to have a connection with them, what are 3 things about them that I learned? So maybe that's a good rule even for the dating apps. What are 3 things that someone, 3 main things that people are going to take from your profile and we'll be able to identify your profile and you as a person as someone that they would be a good fit for. Really think about what are the main headlines of who Nyx is as a person and make sure that those make it into the profile. But ultimately, at some point, you'll have conversations back and forth in the little messages with whoever matches with you. And then you'll have conversations in person. So if you don't get everything out on the table right away, that's okay. It's just what are the most important things that that you want to that you think are sort of grabby, I don't know. I'm trying to think now. I haven't built a dating app profile in a really long time, and now I feel really old and I can't think of anything about myself. This is when you go when you're in school and they're like, "Okay, everyone say your first name, where you're from and one interesting fact about yourself, and you're like, and now I have actually, there's nothing interesting about me, and I know nothing. Like, this happens to me all the time.
Yeah.
I'm now the boringest person
Oh.
on the planet.
No, literally, I'm like, and I have no idea. But anyway, you get the idea. Arden, do you have any thoughts?
I think no, I mean, just kind of echoing a lot of what you said. I feel like I've tried both approaches on dating apps in the past of like, not putting as much information on and trying to just like sort of sort it out through conversation with the person, or putting in like a bunch of those things that I think are like the potentially sort of disqualifying factors that are going to be like, oh, if you're not okay with this, like you're not going to match with me. So I'm just going to put that in. And I feel like I prefer the latter of those two personally in my experience. I think I've had better connections more easily when I've put in that information, like, being like trans, for example, and one of those things, like being like one of the top things that I put in the profile, just because it just makes the process a lot smoother. And like you were kind of talking about it, if you put in, progressive, not interested in Trump voters, will hopefully rule out a lot of people. But I mean, there's nothing you can do that's going to prevent somebody from potentially lying to you. So I think being worried that like you need to put in as much information as possible just in case somebody lies about one thing, like this other thing will catch them or whatever, like don't let yourself get wrapped up in like thinking if you construct the perfect profile, it'll like rule out all the right people and rule in all the right people. Like you're still going to have to do a lot of sorting. So I think it's just kind of like, I don't know, just trust yourself, put what feels right, and then try to like, sorry, I see there's Matt,
great.
I'm trying to do a show. Stop talking in chat. We'll talk after. Christ. Now I've totally lost my train of thought. Fuck ADHD royally. Yeah, right. There's no perfect profile that's going to get you the right batch of people to pick from. Like it'll help you sort like at first, but you're still going to have to do so much work talking to them, getting to know them to make sure that you're compatible and that like you share values. So I know, I think it just, you have to figure out what matters to you in a relationship. But also if you're saying this is kind of like your first relationship, it's okay to not know. Like Alyssa mentioned it earlier, but like I have a very similar experience where I feel like the things that I thought I wanted in a relationship when I was in my early 20s are not even really close to the things that I look for now. And there's certain things that like I have learned through experience that make me feel butterflies that are always a no-go. That I'm like, the butterflies on this one are lying. And that's the kind of thing you only really learn from experience. So I feel like you just kind of gotta get out there and be comfortable making mistakes and going on dates and maybe not necessarily having it lead to something. Like, I think a lot of people kind of have this thing where they're like, I want to do all the sorting so that when I go on that first date, I never have to do it again. And then that is just my person and we're locked in and we're good. And it's like, no, you're probably, if you're really looking for like your person, you're probably gonna have to go on a lot of dates. And that's okay.
And
I feel like
fun.
the saying, the best is the enemy of the good rings really true with that.
Ooh, I've never heard that before.
Yeah, like the perfect is the enemy of the good. Totally. Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. I have two other questions. I am gender fluid, and right now I'm worried about putting that on my profile just because of the increase of like stupid shit happening.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Arden, what do you think?
I mean, this is another thing where there's like no perfect answer. I lean towards put it on your profile and then like, talk to the person and kind of like try to suss out whether or not they are a safe person through messaging, maybe before you meet them. So I feel like you should be able to determine if they're safe before meeting them. And also I highly recommend like always for your first date, meet at like a public place in daytime. Like even if you don't drink coffee dates are just so good in my opinion, because it's like, it's public, it's daytime, nobody's going to be doing any like shifty, weird behavior in that sort of environment, So it's a really good place to kind of meet someone in person and sort of like see how your chemistry is instead of having to rely on, I don't know, like a dinner date, or like don't go to someone's house for your first date. God.
No.
Yeah.
Don't get into their car if they
Mm.
offer you a ride. Sorry, you're 22.
Yeah.
You probably know this. Also, what was the other thing I was gonna say? Oh, if you can, see if you can find them on any other social media also, so that you can do a little bit of digging, perhaps. Like, a very enlightening moment of this past weekend, after the initial unfollow spree that I had, there was a second wave of unfollowing that I did when I looked at, Erica Kirk's Instagram post, and I saw which of my mutuals liked it. And that told me a lot. So, like, stuff like that, that's sort of stuff you could do as well. Do a little bit of digging just to make sure,
Mhm.
that this person is okay and safe to be around.
Yeah. The last question. Do you have any recommendations for what dating apps? Because I know, like, I've been told all of them suck. That's what I've been told.
Kind of true.
I always liked Hinge. That was my favorite one. But I don't know. They all kind of serve different purposes, I think a little bit, but for the most part, all the dating apps are just like bringing the people who are in your location into the palm of your hand. And it's like kind of what you do with it afterwards that makes a difference. I think just try it out. Like, I think Hinge is easy to use. It was like the interface is easy to use. There's enough of like personality questions. Like, I feel like Tinder, there's like not really much about the personality. It's mostly just like, this is from the last time I've used it. It's just pictures. Then like OkCupid is like full written profiles, lots and lots of stuff on there. And then like Hinge and Bumble sit somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
I know Bumble it's like the girl makes the first move. And I actually am curious what they do for non-binary folks, because I don't know how they sort that.
I think if you're not listed as a man, anyone can message anyone. But yeah, if there's a man on, then the other person has to message first, is how they sort it now.
Okay.
My question is, if you're bi, do you just get all the profiles? Or
Usually that's like a setting where you can set like look for men or look for women or look for both.
Oh, okay. So there's not like because I feel like if there was a specific dating app, it'd be useless because there would only be bi people.
That would be nice.
I think they have some apps like that, but I don't know. I haven't heard good things about them. I mean, like Promise met her husband on Hinge, I think it was, right?
Yeah.
Last time I used Tinder, that was a disaster. So I feel like Tinder should be like the bottom of the list. But yeah, I don't know if there's a specific queer one.
I always had good experiences on Hinge, and then Bumble, for some reason, I just like, honestly, this is silly, but it's the ugliest app I've ever seen. It is fugly. I hate it. I don't like the yellow. And it always just like make me like, I just like can't use it. Hinge I liked. It's like neutral and nice.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Sometimes it's just the interface.
Yeah, it makes a difference. Also, some people have said, or someone in chat said Facebook dating is also a thing. So if you're like a Facebook user, maybe, but
my family follows me on Facebook.
Okay, so maybe
my
not.
Grandma.
Okay, maybe
I think the dating
not.
profile, I think, is like a different part of it, but I've never used it. I've seen it and I've heard people who've used it, but yeah, I don't know. Could be worth a shot. I don't know.
Just a really quick question, because like I said, there was one more, but I have a really quick question. I think we both agree that being a Trump supporter can be like a no, but like, what about like being Christian? I'm conflicted about it. To being like a no, or even just like instead of like a stop sign, it's a yellow sign. Like, slow down here. Might need to stop.
It's up to you. For me, I was like that, where in the beginning, I was dating people where if they listed that they were religious, I was like, well, I felt similarly. It's a yellow sign for me. And then as time went on, I was like, you know what? I think if someone is very religious and that's important to them, then I am probably not a good fit for them, just as much as they are not a good fit for me, because I'm not going to be, if you're going to want me to participate in that, like that's something I can't fulfill. So
Yeah.
that might be something that you decide as you go and see how
Mhm.
it feels for you, because you might be okay
Well,
with it.
yeah, well, I was talking. I was actually there's only been like one or two people that I've like maybe you, and we were talking,
Mhm.
and we had this really long conversation during like right after Christmas because I was like really bad for like that first couple months, the last couple of months because of the Trump thing. I was like, oh my God,
Mhm.
I'm so worried. I was so worried. I still am, but like then was really bad, and so I just started my mouth got less filters. It had less of a filter.
Mm.
So we were talking about like religious things and like specifically like abortion and stuff. And I realized maybe these things aren't, even if they're not like a red sign for me. I don't think I am necessarily the person that fits in here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I
You
think
just
it really has to be a matter of personal preference. Like, my longest relationship that I had outside of Matt was with a Catholic. We dated for 3 years, and it wasn't really important to her, so it didn't really affect our relationship at all. But like, yeah, I think it really it depends on like who the person is, how much. I think it's almost like if you're willing to put it on a profile, that's the red flag. Like if it's that central to your identity, that's kind of the red flag.
Mm.
But like also, I
yeah.
know for like Matt, he would never date somebody who's any flavor of believing in something like that. So like I think it's really just kind of your choice, you know?
I was thinking about that because like I specifically I watch you guys a lot, so specifically with Matt, I was like I don't think he'd ever. I mean, at least now, maybe when he was younger, but like at least now, I feel like he'd never date anyone religious.
Yeah.
Certainly not. Certainly not. Well, you'll figure it out when you put yourself out there and you see how you feel. Um, and like I said, you also have to consider like what that person may want from you in that interaction too.
Mhm. I always I feel like this is a problem with me, but I always feel like it's just like sometimes I feel like in everybody there's always that like little bit of like I'm not going to be able to be good enough for someone and it's like, and I'm like, no, you need to get over that. I mean,
You
maybe not
definitely
get over it,
do.
but like ignore it.
There's truly like my boyfriend's dad, when he met me, the first thing because my boyfriend's kind of weird and he's like a very specific type of person. When his dad met me for the first time, he was like, "Wow, there really is a pot for every lid, huh?" And it's true. Like there really like he literally, I was like, "Okay."
That's so good.
Yeah.
But like truly, and this is like corny of me, but it's the truth. When I look back at like my dating experience, the so much of the time when I was dating somebody and I was like, I don't think this is my person, but they might be, so I'm going to like stick with it. And I stuck with it knowing that there were things that I felt like very unaligned with. And at some point they hit a breaking point and we broke up. And I'm grateful for all of the relationships that I've had because they taught me things and they meant so much to me in the moment. So like they were important to me and developing the person who I am now. But now that I've found my partner, no, like I literally, it's like creepy how well suited we are for each other. Like I couldn't believe, I was like, this is like, it felt like, it was like weird, like how I couldn't believe the things that I was accepting from other people that were not aligned, knowing that there was a person that existed that was so aligned. And so, all that to say, you'll figure it out as you go. And at some point, like you'll build this list of things where it's like, okay, well now I know this that I thought was in the like yellow slow down category is going in red, and I can't date somebody who's like that anymore. And the more that you start like sorting that list out, you'll meet a person at some point and be like, this person is perfect, and it's gonna feel so aligned and so different. And maybe that's a person that you stick with long term, or who knows, maybe you end up having multiple partners, and you'll figure it out as you go. It'll all make more
Yeah.
sense. But don't stress about it too much right away, because the experience is also fun and important.
hmm it comes back to those missing the milestones. Like the journey is also important, not just the destination.
Absolutely.
100%.
Mhm.
Okay, well, is there anything else that we can help you with, Nix, or are you feeling good? Are you ready to download the apps?
I think I'm gonna go download the app, and
Woohoo!
I just feel better because now I know that I can't, because I've been thinking about calling for a while, and now that I have, maybe I can call about more like some of the more religious stuff, because I might be like atheist, but like there's still questions. I feel like there's always more questions to be answered. Once you answer one question, there's like 5 behind it.
I totally understand. So you'll have to call back another time and give us some of those questions too.
Okay.
All right. Thank you
right.
so much, Nix. Have a good rest of your
Thanks,
night.
Nix.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, we love Nix.
That was great.
So excited to see what they do next. Okay, we have one more call in the chat. In the queue. I'm gonna pull in Isabelle.
Hi,
Isabelle, hi. How are you?
I'm good. I have my desk fan on. I just want to make sure you can't hear that because it's unreasonably warm for the middle of September.
No, we can't hear it at all. You're good.
Okay.
So, what did you want to talk about today?
Yeah, I don't know if I phrased it correctly in the screening, but basically, like, how do I square, like, I relate a lot to the experiences that a lot of women have, but I don't fit, I guess, the schema that I have of being a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I was little, I was like very much a tomboy, and then I kind of did a total 180, and I was like really into makeup, and I mean I'm still into fashion. That's what I went to school for, but and like I see a lot of women talk online about their experiences moving through the world as women. I'm like, oh, that I relate to that. I have those experiences too. But also internally, like if I try and think of myself as woman, it's not right.
Yeah. No, I think that makes perfect sense. I think it's a very relatable experience for a lot of trans people. I mean, it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of one of those weird things where like people will often like say to a trans person, like a trans woman, like you were socialized as a boy growing up, or to a trans man or someone who's AFAB, like, oh, you were socialized as a girl growing up. But the reality is like when your identity is different in that way, trying to socialize you as a boy or a girl doesn't really land the way it's supposed to. It kind of gets garbled up in the process, I feel like, and really has a very different impact on us. But like it makes perfect sense that you could relate to a lot of the experiences that women have, even if you don't identify as a woman yourself. I mean, like if people are perceiving you as a woman in certain circumstances, it also makes sense that like that they would be kind of doing the same things to you or treating you the same way, even if you aren't actually a woman.
Yeah, I definitely I present very femme day to day just because it's the easiest.
Mhm.
But like I know I have like other stuff that I have to figure out, like the whole, oh, what if it's actually not correct, and what if I'm wrong? But that's a whole other thing.
Yeah, I mean, that is the quintessential. I don't know if you know, Isabelle, but we have TACIS on this show. That's a show on Thursdays where we explicitly talk about trans stuff the whole show. And Lexander, who's on that show, is non-binary and would probably have a lot of experiences to relate to you on this about specifically. But like one of the most quintessential trans experiences, we say it all the time. The only thing that unites all trans people is feeling like you're not trans enough, or like your experiences are like, but what if I'm the faker though? Every trans person feels that way. It is so universal because it's this sort of nebulous thing, you know, you're like reading your internal sense of self and kind of trying to come to conclusions about that based on how the world works and like how gender works in your culture and all these different things. So um I I definitely, if anything, feeling that way sort of makes you more trans, is what I'm trying to say. So I hope it doesn't, or like, I don't know if you identify as trans. I know some non binary people don't consider themselves trans, but it doesn't invalidate your identity to be having a bit of imposter syndrome. I think it's very normal, especially with how hostile our culture is to trans people. I think it's almost to be expected.
Yeah, I definitely have some kind of leftover. I don't know if trans medicalist is the right word, but like leftover from learning about it initially in high school. Like there's a specific way to be trans, and I know
Yeah.
I don't fit that, so it's kind of like, so I guess I'm not then. But I've kind
Yeah.
of graduated to like gender is whatever.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know, because and then there's also like all sorts of stuff with non-binary and being perceived as like woman light version, and
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, it's totally understandable. Even like my sibling, for example, is non-binary, sort of AFAB trans mask person. But I came out as trans when I was first like I think I was 14 or 13. It was around there. I think I've said 13 and 14 probably each about the same amount of times, somewhere in that range, right? And my sibling took a long time after I came out to come out, actually. It was, I guess, maybe a little harder for me to keep it in, or maybe they were more, harshly socialized to, and, keep their stuff hidden. They came out as a lesbian when I was maybe like 18, and then non binary maybe like 5 years ago or something like that. Um, and now they've only just in the last like 2 years changed their name and like started really pushing people to like start using the right name and pronouns. Um, it's like everyone's on their own journey and on their own path. There's no like prescribed right way. And it's just like when somebody's asking you, like, what's your favorite color or your favorite movie, or like, are you right or left handed? Like, you can't point to the spot in your brain that says, here's where it proves that I'm right or left handed, but like you feel it, right? Like when you try to write with the wrong hand, it feels fucking wrong. And when you write with the right hand, it feels correct. Like, so I think it's really just, I deeply empathize with the position that you are in. And I think it's very, very normal. And like, it just an effect of being in a culture that is so transphobic and so hateful towards trans people and so desperate to make us out to be these, violent villains or, these weirdos or whatever. And, you know, maybe some of us are a little weird. There's nothing wrong with being weird. But like, yeah, I don't know. I definitely just, I deeply empathize with the position you're coming from. And I think it makes perfect sense that you would relate to the experiences of women, but don't identify as women. And I could see how that would maybe make you feel like, it almost sounds a little bit like dysphoria to me, honestly. And if you don't think of it that way, that's totally fine. I'm not trying to say you have dysphoria. That is kind of what it feels like a little bit, where it's like, oh, weird. Like I feel kind of relating to those experiences in some sense, but also that kind of like invalidates my gender. And so that kind of just makes me feel crappy. I think it's totally makes sense.
I had never even considered that could be potentially dysphoric. So that's maybe something I need to think more about. Like, yeah, I had a very similar experience to your sibling, and I think eventually I was talking with a friend and about like, I don't know, it was like shower thoughts or something. They were like, you know, it's not a very cisgender thing to think about, like, what if you got top surgery?
Yeah, for real.
Right.
And I was like, oh, cool.
One of my co-hosts on TACIS, who started the show with me, Katie, used to use this analogy, and I forget if it was like a genie or a wizard, but that part doesn't really matter. It's like, imagine a genie offers you like a bottle, right? It's a potion. And if you take the potion, you're going to be in your most ideal body presentation. If you take the potion, would you stop being a woman or would you look different? Because if so, you're probably fucking trans. Like, not a lot of cis people are sitting here being like, I would take the potion in my ideal body. You know, the cis men are out here taking the ideal potion, their ideal body potion, and being like, yes, I would grow breasts and have long hair. Like, cis men are not in that. So, and cis women are in the other. So, you know, it's like, it makes sense. Yeah.
That's, I feel like, yeah, reassurance is nice to hear that this is like a common, I don't know if common really, but like it's a regular thing to think. And like, I'm not overthinking to the point of like being wrong.
Yeah, you can't be wrong about your gender, Isabelle. That is a completely internal thing. Again, just like I liken it a lot to like left-handedness and right-handedness, but also like pain. Like, could you be wrong about whether or not you're in pain? Like, not really. If you feel like you're in pain, right? Like, it's completely internal. There's no point on your brain you can point to that shows, that's where the pain is being felt, but you feel it and you know you do. Like, even if there's no evidence of like external harm, like there's lots of things that can happen that cause you to feel pain. So you can't be wrong about your own gender. I mean, you may later find out that like I've known a lot of non-binary people and binary trans people who, after like many years, kind of decided like, you know, I guess I'm gonna kind of detransition, but it's not really so much that I'm going back to like, I'm not going to go be a traditional woman and like, you know, be a trad wife and have kids and all this shit. I just kind of want to be me and not really feel like I have the pressure of these expectations of being forced into a box put on me. I just kind of want to be me and not care about the whole gender thing, because it's just like, it's too much pressure to be forced to put in a box or whatever. Like that's okay. I think sometimes we feel like if we have to make a choice. We have to decide what box we're in. And once we decide it, that's just it. And if we fuck up, we're ruining the whole trans movement for everyone else. And it's really not that deep. Like, just do what feels right for you and trust yourself. You can't be wrong about your own internal, like how you feel about your own gender, right? It's just how you feel. And if it changes in 5 years and you feel differently, that's okay too. Like, do whatever is going to make you happy and feel right. There's nothing about trans rights that says like, nope, this is it. You made your decision. You're locked in. You don't like it anymore? Tough shit. You're locked, you know, the ride is going. No, you're allowed to get off the ride if you feel like, oh, this actually isn't working for me.
Okay. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Yeah, it's I should probably go back to looking for therapy. So thank you to the earlier callers
Yes.
for bringing that up
Right on.
and dealing with my crippling fear of regret.
Yeah. Well, call in on Thursday if you can, 2 p.m. Central Time, the Transatlantic Call-In Show right here on the same exact channel. It's gonna be Josie and Luxander, and Luxander is non-binary, so they'll probably be able to relate a lot more to your experiences.
Awesome. I've caught TACIS before, and I really enjoy it. I enjoy all your shows. They're nice to listen
Awesome.
to at work.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, we'd be happy to talk to you again, Isabelle.
Thank you.
Thanks for calling,
No problem.
Isabelle. Call in on Thursday. We'll talk to you then. I'll be watching.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, I loved that call.
Nice. Yeah, that was really nice.
I love how you explained the left and right thing. That's such a good analogy to give. Is that an analogy? Metaphor? Metaphor.
Yeah.
Metaphor or analogy?
Sure.
If I'm being so honest, I'm now confusing myself on what the difference is.
Analogy is used like
Yeah.
like an
Like or
and,
as.
right? It's like, oh, yeah, yes, like or as. That's right. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. The left and right is that's a really good way to describe it. I'm going to keep that in the bank because that's a good one.
Hell yeah.
And the magic potion thing too. That's like a similar thing to when people are not sure if they want to be with their partner or not anymore. I'll ask them if you knew for a fact that if you told your partner, I don't want to be with you anymore, they would be like, whoa, that's so crazy. I was thinking the same thing. And you guys could amicably split and no bad feelings would happen. Everyone's families would be cool. Everything would be like smooth and easy. Would you do it? And if the answer is yes, then maybe that's not your person.
Yeah, you're probably.
But anyways,
yeah,
probably not your person. But that reminded me of the like magic potion thing where it's like if you could live in a different body, what would your ideal body be? And like as a cis person, like I wouldn't choose to be a guy, I wouldn't choose to be like anything that's not like some version of this. Because this is what I identify with. And so that's like so validating for people who don't feel that way. That's such a good question.
I think I biffed the magic potion analogy a little bit. I don't remember exactly how it ran. I'll have to look back and see if I can find it again, or I'll just text Katie. But yeah, there was a certain cadence to how she did it that was like really, really striking. And I think I didn't quite land it, but it was basically that. I got the basic idea, but I was not my most eloquent.
No, but that's
I'm
such a
glad
good question.
The right and left-handed thing landed.
That lands, and also I've had this experience. Like I didn't realize I was bisexual until I'm not kidding, like 2 years ago, maybe. And even now, there are moments where I think back to things as like a kid, where I'm like, that was not like. I'll think back on things, and I'm like, do you remember all the things she said, the tattoo song and like the music video? And it was like, that was like the first time I ever saw like a girl and a girl, like I don't even think they kiss in it. Like or maybe they do, but that's probably the most of it. I watched that music video 800 fucking times. And that song is trending again. And I was like, and I should have known that that I was watching it for different reasons than maybe some other people were. It's like random things like that where it's like you start to think like, okay, like other people were just not processing that the same way, which is really funny.
It's so funny. For the longest time, I kind of thought I had to pick one, but like same, like looking back, I can't tell you how many times I Googled both girls kissing and boys kissing, like being like an 11-year-old on Google, like no one else is in the room, right? Boys kissing. Oh my God, I have feelings. Close that. Don't want to look at it again.
I know. And it's even like, okay, I had like a thing for Kristen Stewart for a little while. I still do. I love Kristen Stewart. And there was a time where I was questioning again. I was like, maybe I'm not, because I've only dated boys, but I've had things things with girls, but I never like dated I've never been in a relationship with a woman. So I was like, okay, well, like maybe that means that I'm just like, I'm an imposter and this isn't real. And then there was one day I was sitting in my bed and I was literally scrolling Kristen Stewart fan edits for like an hour. And I was like, okay, let's do like a little check-in because I'm not scrolling these because I like her outfits.
Kristen Stewart is so fucking hot. She's just got like, it's the energy she brings, you know? It's like
she's so hot.
There's a level of charisma that's just like, oof. I feel it.
When she has her hair, when her hair was blonde, and that period of time specifically undid me. I was like, I will. When she got engaged, I fell to my knees. I was like, no. I was so sad. I was so
my
sad.
chance. It's gone.
I know, literally. Damn it. Now it'll never work. But weirdly, my two like celebrity crushes were Macaulay Culkin and Kristen Stewart. Which I would like Andrew to take note of that because Macaulay Culkin was my celebrity crush forever.
Oh my god. I was literally, when we were talking about unattractive men who can pull hot girls, I was literally going to bring up that Macaulay Culkin's married to fucking Brenda Song. I'm like,
right.
If Macaulay Culkin can pull Brenda Song, you can pull anyone, trust.
Like, right. I love, and then weirdly, my boyfriend now kind of looks like if Kristen Stewart and Macaulay Culkin had a baby. That's what his ass looks like. Oh my god. Isn't that crazy?
That's so funny.
So, you know, that's I did hilarious. It, guys. And he's bisexual. Bisexual dream. Two bisexuals dating each other.
One of the new Sabrina Carpenter songs says something about like what is it? A soft boy or like or something like that. And I remember Matt was like, soft boy? I don't hear women talking about that. And I'm like, are you kidding me? All the bisexual girlies want a soft boy.
The bisexual girlies need to find a guy who is a hair away from being gay. And it's perfect.
For sure.
It's great. I love it so much. And then when I make content where I'm like making fun of like alpha males, he knows I'm not talking about his ass. He's listening to musicals. We're good. One time when and now I'm just yapping and the people don't care. But one time when I was with him ordering bagels on DoorDash or whatever. And the place by his apartment that has really good bagels is called Western Bagels. And he started to type Western Bagels and instinctively typed West Side Story. I said, that's my gay little boyfriend. And I love him.
That is, I was like, that is amazing.
My gay little boyfriend.
Oh my god. It's a boy that's fruity is the line. Got a soft spot for a bev and a boy that's fruity. Yeah.
I love it.
All right, we got super chats. Let's hit these super chats. I saw we got a bunch.
Okay, love it. Oh, James, $4.99 from Jimmy Snow. Don't say hi to me.
Who's
I think a
fan. Who's this man?
I think a crazy fan.
I think he's been in my DMs. I'm just kidding.
Probably.
$5 from Haley G. Hi, Jimmy.
That's so funny.
He's been in my DMs, but he's like, hey, can you get this thumbnail up now?
No, exactly. He's like, let me get you on all forms of communication. £5 from Barbara Barrett. Jaffa Cree. I don't know what that means, but yeah.
Me either. Sure. $5 from Aaliyah Shauna Silverbow. The soup loop don't stop.
I forgot about soup loop.
The soup loop. Oh my god.
The soup loop was crazy.
What the fuck
god,
you guys?
Oh god. Okay.
Language?
$5 from Green Man Dave. Shalkeek Nemron. What is that?
Is this like a Star Trek thing? This feels like a Star Trek thing.
Maybe. I don't know.
Stargate? Ah, chat confirms. Stargate. Okay. You guys are fucking, come on. $5 from Space Barbarian regarding the platforming of BS. Astronomers don't mention by name the Harvard scientist who won't shut up about aliens. I don't.
Don't mention.
Did we talk about not platforming BS? I don't remember if that came up today.
I don't know. £5 from Mystic Minds Analysis Tavern. After my call last week regarding RSD, I haven't had the chance to ask anyone out, but I'm still talking to more people, so it's progress. Yay! That's great.
Nice.
That's all you need to do. Little baby steps. I think I don't remember if I said this on the call, but I probably did. Saying one extra thing, one extra line to everything that you would say to a person on a day-to-day basis helps. It helps you just get like a little further in socializing with people than you normally would.
$5 from Bobby Keniston. Alyssa, I really like the piece you shared on Substack when men let us in. Very heartfelt, cogent, and well written. Look forward to reading more.
Thank you so much. That's really nice. Bobby's the best. Bobby is like so supportive and kind, and I really appreciate it so much. And I really liked that Substack piece that I wrote too. I was feeling a lot about recently. I feel a lot about the state of men, and it's weird because as much as it like I think there are so many people in this life and on the internet who think I'm a man hater. The truth of it is like I'm obsessed with like what like masculinity has done. Obsessed in like a way where I'm like, we gotta fix this. I feel 911 house is on fire vibes, and I don't know what to do. So
Yeah.
anyway, I appreciate it, Bobby.
$5 from the atheist. Oh, sorry. Was this? Oh no, you're right. This is you. Yep.
$5 from the atheist mechanic. It's so ironic yet scary how the party of free speech wants to cancel people using that free speech. It's terrifying.
You have to understand the right has literally no values. They say whatever's convenient to them for the time being. Like this is why that graph came out where it was like the collection of ideas on the left. Oh, we're so restrictive. We ban people. The collection of ideas on the right. That's not because the right is so open-minded and expansive thinking. It's because they have no actual values except power and owning the libs. That's all they care about. And so whatever to that end, they will take that position.
Yeah.
Another $5 from the atheist mechanic. I want to know how Andrew knows about people's sperm quality as they age. Seems sus. It doesn't to me because he seems like the kind of guy who researches that stuff a lot. Like, and by research, I mean like, you know, Googles and gets results of the same podcast he always listens to.
Well, yeah, it's probably shit that they talk about on that podcast too, because they talk about how women expire and all that kind of stuff. $9.99 from Life is Literary. Too nervous to call today, but Alyssa, if you're comfortable saying, could you go into your education path towards coaching? You've been inspirational to me in my pursuit of a therapy career. Can't say word. I don't know what can't say word means, but yay, that's so nice. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that you're interested in doing this kind of work. It's so needed, and it's going to continue to be more needed, even among all of like the crazy censorship stuff that happens. But I did my program through the Sexual Health Alliance. They do an online program, so it's self-paced. It's a lot of reading, it's a lot of lectures and things, but it's so worth doing. So if you're trying to be a sex therapist, you have to go through the process of becoming a licensed therapist. Not necessarily a PhD, but like whatever master's program, licensed therapist. And then you do this additional program. And you get certified by ASECT, which is the American Association of Sexuality Educators, Counselors, and Therapists. And there's a whole bunch of programs that are ASECT certified. And you can go to asect.org. It's AASECT.org. And you can find all of the programs that you can look at. Like I said, I did mine through the Sexual Health Alliance. And then once you do the certification program, usually you have to do like a final project and then observation hours. And then you get certified as a sex therapist. And then you get to do continuing education credits every year. And it's really fun. Like the best part of doing all this kind of stuff is it's like, yeah, you're sitting in a lecture, but you're sitting in a lecture that's titled Anal is Awesome. So like, yeah.
Amazing.
I love it.
That's awesome.
You know? So yeah, and if you have any other questions, you can email me too. My email's in my like link of everything on my Instagram, whatever.
$9.99 from Feeny. If Andrew can request what music he hears every time he calls in, can I request not to hear Andrew every time I watch The Line? Andrew, this counts as free mental health care, you socialist scum. No, that the music is kind of annoying. But I always forget to turn it off when I'm producing for the first like 10 minutes of the show. So, it happens.
5 pounds from Herbie Shine. Hearing Andrew's stupid arguments makes my depression worse. I'll catch up tomorrow when I can listen speeded up. Yeah, I stand by the decision to take Andrew calls, but I understand.
Yeah. Chat is like, listen, I get it. Andrew's not like he hasn't been super nice. He said some really hurtful, mean things, but he's also been, I don't know. I feel like we've had way worse callers, and I'm like, man, you guys are really giving
100%.
Andrew. Like,
I know.
Like there's some callers who deserve a lot more of the hate that Andrew gets.
Yeah.
$5 from A. Greenwich. Once again, Jersey does not claim Andrew. LOL. Hashtag don't apologize to him.
Listen, you guys have Bruce Springsteen, you have Frank Sinatra, you have a lot. If you have to claim Andrew, I think it balances out for the state of New Jersey. You'll be fine. Bon Jovi, there's lots. 5 Canadian dollars. What?
I'm sorry. I was editing a clip that you took from a caller, thinking of callers that were worse recently, who after being a total prick for like 50 minutes, asked you and Taylor for your numbers.
Yes, and then he DM'd me.
On the floor. I was like, you fucking sicko. What is wrong with you?
Fucking
unbelievable.
Sicko. He ended up DMing me later too. And he was like, hey, great chat. And was like, if you want to talk more. I was like, no, I don't want to talk more. What?
Oh my God.
You literally think women don't deserve rights. Why would I go on a date with you? Weird behavior.
Freak.
5 Canadian dollars from Quantum Chaos. Peanut butter is disgusting, and a disgust reaction to it is natural and morally right. This is my hill to die on. Love you all. I hope Matt is good. Oh my God.
Weird. What's with the peanut butter hate? This is just like mayo all over again. Listen, I'm not like insanely in love with peanut butter. I just enjoy it. I don't hate it. It was just a weird example. $5 from No Brown Grass. I am an Arrow Ace virgin. When I was a Christian, I felt blessed for not really experiencing lust. Still not pure though.
Oh, I see. So,
that kind of makes
I
sense.
see. That does make sense.
That way. Yeah.
Weirdly, you like circumvented that system. That's so crazy.
Right.
That's crazy. $5 from Space Barbarian. It sounds exhausting to be Andrew with so many BS thoughts in his head. Hey, I have some empathy. Yeah, like that's what I was saying to him too. I'm like, the good news is like the world is actually not as evil as you are perceiving it to be in this moment. So that's good. It's gonna turn around. He's only 19. As long as he doesn't continue on that path, it'll turn around.
Yeah, like I 100% feel like, I don't know, even I will sometimes get anxious about like certain social things because of how toxic the world is about trans people right now. And maybe it's like a passing privilege or something. I don't fucking know. But every time I go out and do stuff, I'm reminded like, yeah, no, the world in my head is like way worse than the world that actually exists.
Yeah.
Like it's not great.
Yeah.
It is bad, but like, yeah, my God, touching grass helps so much.
Yeah,
realign your sense of things. $5 from God's Sinner. Every call with Andrew briefly feels like progress, and then a cliff jump into some wild bull from Garrikel. For real. I do always feel like we're making progress, and then he'll say something that I'm like, man, you just undid all the excitement that I was feeling about your development.
But you know what? I think that the points where he feels progress are like the actual truth, and then he does the thing where he has to re-up his man card, and then that's when he says some stupid fuck shit like therapy isn't real. It's like he has to balance it out. The book that I'm reading, someone asked in the chat and I put it in there too, but it's called For the Love of Men. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. It's called For the Love of Men, and it's by Liz Plank, and it's really good. The audiobook's like easy to listen to, and it's free on Spotify Premium. But she talked about a study that I think is so funny. They had men and women eating pizza, eating separately and then eating together. And when men and women were eating pizza together, the men ate 93% more pizza than when they ate their pizza separately. Almost double the amount of pizza. And the women ate the
That's
same.
crazy.
The women ate the same. And it was like subconscious, but I guess it was like I don't know, like a masculinity thing. It's so funny and so weird. Anyway, there's lots of really good studies in that book that are cited all the way through. It's interesting.
I've just started getting back into nonfiction, so I'm gonna save that and read that.
Yeah,
in the
that's an
future.
easy
It
one.
sounds really good.
Yeah.
$6.66 of that currency, Australian currency, from Hank Says. Andrew's podcasts shame women, obviously, and they also shame men like Andrew by playing on their insecurities. He's a mark and he doesn't know it. Yeah, that's the really sad stuff about these kind of podcasts. I have is he 12 now? Yeah, he would be 12 this year, 12-year-old brother. Oh my God, I'm so worried about him. In the town that I grew up in the environment he's growing up in, oh my God. It's so scary.
Yeah. That's why I say to him too, I've said to Andrew before, I'm like, do you think that these podcasts where they literally are telling women they're whores is gonna help you get girls? Like,
it really doesn't make sense, like even on a surface. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because like their audience is mostly men, but presumably the content they're creating would be to like shame a woman into like changing. But the only men are watching it. So like that's not happening, and then they're just turning men into incels.
Yeah. It's really sad.
$20 from Sigma Amicus. You both are being insanely patient with this guy. Again, buy yourself a drink after this. You deserve it. # team, both of you. Oh, thanks.
Thank you. $4.99 from Hannah Hodgins. Therapy absolutely works, Andrew. I've had it since I was 10, into my mid-20s now. Don't spread misinformation like that, Andrew. Yeah, same. I've been in therapy since I was like 13 or so, but it's been on and off because like therapy, like usually you do it for like symptom management, right? And once those symptoms kind of resolve, a lot of people will go off of therapy for a long time and then you just kind of go back as you need it.
Yeah.
So it's really normal to kind of have an on again, off again relationship with therapy.
Yeah, that's been my experience too. And there are times where you have a call with your therapist and you're like, I really have nothing to talk about today. And that's when you have like the deepest, best conversations. Like you really just have to like, you just have to like let it all trust the process is basically what you have to do.
Yeah.
$4.99 from Life is Literary. Andrew says, I can't believe women want men they find attractive, as if men don't want women they find attractive. Men never want attractive women, right? I know. That's why I'm like, what are you talking about? That's so, of course you want someone who's attractive.
$50 from Mr. Boricua 10. Andrew, disgruntled sigh. Put down the black pill special and get the hell out of that dead space you're in. Actually take accountability for your actions. Enough with what about X scenarios. Do the work. Any bad people? Screw them. Seek a counselor. Yeah, there's also, I forget his name. There's a creator I followed on Instagram. He hasn't posted as much of this stuff lately because I know he was getting a lot of hate. But he's like a lefty kind of socialist dude who is doing a lot of dating advice for men.
Wait, is it the guy who has like a little bleached like hair spot in the front?
Yeah, and he's got a beanie. It's got like a rose on it.
Yes,
yeah, he's done some
name.
great advice stuff. His sister was trans, and he came out in defense of trans rights. And I think she committed suicide too. And people were like really harassing him over it. It's really sad, but he seems like it's social media. I don't know him as a person at all, but his advice seemed much, much better and more applicable for somebody in Andrew's position than anything that he would get out of like the whatever podcast or whatever fucking shit he's watching.
Yeah. This guy is Street Light Eyes Don't Die. Kind of a crazy unrelated thing.
yeah.
And his name is Andrew Bailey.
Yeah, okay.
And he's awesome.
Yep. Yeah.
$5 from SJL. I don't think I need therapy, which probably means I would benefit from therapy. True. I agree.
Oh, actually, I had a story about that I wanted to tell Andrew and forgot in the moment. My best friend in the whole world, right? Like we just have like one of those connections that's like, I don't know why, but you are just like one of my favorite people in the whole universe. When we first became friends, he was an anti-therapy person. He was like, I don't need it. But he had some anger issues. Let me tell you what, because we were living together, like as soon as we were able to have an apartment, we were like, oh, let's get out of the dorms. Let's go like have a place. I remember him like throwing shit, being like actually kind of crazy. And I was like, dude, you need therapy. And he was like, nuh-uh. And he had a crush on one of our friends and asked her out. And she said no. And he really, really, really wanted to date her. Well, he went to therapy. He got immensely better. He is one of the most reliable people in my entire fucking life. And after he went to therapy, he asked this girl out. And guess what? She said yes. And now they're married. And that was like 7-8 years ago. Yeah.
That's an amazing success story.
He asked her out on like, it was like the third day of our freshman year of college. We all went to this open mic event together, and her and I actually sang a song together because we were all kind of getting to know each other. We were like, oh, we could do a song. Like, that'd be fun. He asked her out that night and she said no. And then he asked her out again several years later after we'd lived together for a while. He'd been in therapy. He got a lot better and she said yes. It wasn't like because he went to therapy. It was because he was a better, more tolerable person. Yeah, and now they're married. And they're my favorite people on like the whole planet. They're amazing. I mean, Matt's also my favorite person on the planet. But like,
so cool.
I've known Nick for like 10 years. So
yeah, that's so cool. That is such a great story. Andrew, I hope you're listening. For
real. I should have said it live. I know. I wish I didn't say it. I wish I had said it sooner.
Yeah, well, he'll call back. You'll be able to tell him again.
Oh, sorry. This one's probably mine. $5 from Luis Morales. On some level, I can empathize with Andrew. I was also an angry 19-year-old. He makes me so angry because he doesn't seem to critically analyze his behavior. I think he's getting there, honestly. I do. I know he says some fuck-ass shit. I know he's been a bigot. But also, like, even this call was, like, more conciliatory than the one I had last Friday with him. So, like, I genuinely do have hopes for him. Like, his brain's not done cooking yet, you guys. Give him time.
Yeah, and the fact that he calls at all. He's willing to be challenged. That alone makes he's leagues ahead of any of the people that he listens to on podcasts. Because he's willing to, like, actually defend his points and then also like think them through. Oh my God, so many. $5 from Hedonista for suffering through the Andrew call, and cheers to your ability to speak with him so coherently and compassionately. Right on. We have hope for Andrew.
Yes. $5 from Zurich Moon Pie. I didn't have sex until I was 22. It was at a convention for $250 for 20 minutes of boredom. It's mainly how I figured out I was asexual. Totally makes sense.
Yeah. $5 from Zurich Moonpaw. Of course, hello. Of course, I now have a chat husband and chat wife. #chatpolly at Jamnik06 at Sapphic Bibliophile Hugs. That's really cute. That's really
it's
sweet.
Like a work husband, work wife.
Yeah.
Cute. $4.99 from Life is Literary. Bill rules. Bill does rule. That was a good conversation. I liked Bill.
Loved Bill. He was awesome. He was great. $5 from Marxist Boogie Woman. When asking someone out when they're at work, don't ask for their number. Ask if you can give them your number. That way it's your info on the line. Yeah. That's why I liked, like, give them the business card that has your info so they don't feel like they have to give you anything. It's good.
Yeah. $20 from Matthew Richardson. Awesome convos today, and I'm really grateful for all of you. Wish I had a podcast like this in the early 2Ks to listen to. it would have helped me enormously back then. Go A+A duo. PS. Who else misses promise? Oh my God. So
God,
much. You have no
so
idea.
much.
She's been a little AWOL, I feel like, lately because she's been finishing up things, and I understand, but I do miss her greatly.
Yeah, I miss her a lot too. $5 from President Starscream. Speaking of flirting, I'd love to hear y'all's thoughts on friendly flirting, which I have experienced happily or have potentially misinterpreted. I think it depends. It depends. Sometimes when specifically men would flirt with me in a friendly way, and then like a year later they actually genuinely try to hit on me, that's like so hurtful and so frustrating because you think that it's playful in the moment, and then you're like, oh, you were just trying to test the boundaries the whole time. But now that I feel like I have friends of like any all genders, I feel like I am sort of like playfully flirty with most people. Like, I don't know. I feel like I'm always like at least affectionate maybe in the way that I talk to people. So, I don't know, I think it makes people feel good, but sometimes also it can be kind of confusing. So, it depends on the relationship, I guess, you have.
Yeah, I think if it's well established, it's fine. But I know, like, for me, like, affection is very much a romantic thing. And I've had a lot of friends who are like really affectionate and flirty in like a platonic friend way. And that like really messes with my brain. I don't like that at all. So I'm like, oh no, for me, that is like a very intimate thing. And so it's like, whoa, we just went from 0 to like 120 in like 0 seconds. So
See, this is a good thing to know because I've only seen you literally one time in real life. But if we lived anywhere near each other, I'm like a hugger. I'm a cuddler. This is
I
good
like a good
information to
hug.
know because I won't do that to
A
you.
good squeezy hug is very, very nice from anyone for me. But yeah, there's just like, I don't know, certain things. Like I have a friend who used to like lay her head on me and like would like grab my hand, totally platonic. And because I know that now, it's totally fine. But for the first few times she did it, I was like,
You're like,
what?
and now we kiss?
This is confusing.
No,
Yeah,
I totally understand that. I totally understand that. $5 from Joshua Everett. Arden, do you know the max live viewer record for any of the shows? I know the average is just from being around, but I'm curious about the numbers.
That's a good question. I don't know if I have off the top of my head the max record. I feel like I've seen a show maybe that got up to like 5K for like maybe one of our big events. Or maybe it was like a election stream type thing. I can't quite remember. Like the really, really high end of our normal like has occasionally cracked 3,000, but usually it's like a little over 2 on some of our big shows for concurrent live viewers. I don't know what the max record is though. I don't know if that information is even available. Oh, sorry, you read the last one. $9.99 from 700 Bees in a Human Suit. Hey, ladies, I just started dating a very lovely woman, and assuming things go well, when do I tell her I'm ace? I'm not in a relationship for years, and this is the first since I realized I was ace. I feel like it's really a you thing. Yeah, I mean, if you've already been on a few dates with her, I feel like you probably ought to mention that.
Yeah.
I feel like there's maybe like a 3-date window to like divulge information like this. Past that, it's kind of like lying by omission a little bit.
Yeah, because I think it's also like with all relationships, the consent is important and consent can't be consent without it being informed. So like entering a relationship with someone and having and assuming that there's going to be like sex things or intimate things on the table that really kind of aren't for you is going to feel like you're not, being forthcoming. So I would say within the first 3 dates if you can.
For sure.
$5 from Shay S. Reddit dating is a thing. I've had 2 long-term relationships with people I met on LGBTQ/women loving women or WLW subreddits. Do people say WLW? I guess.
Yeah, I don't know how
Or
you say it out
women.
loud, but women loving women is what that is. Sure.
Yeah. I don't know.
I've never
Okay,
heard of that.
well.
To be honest, I don't think I would ever date anyone who I met on Reddit personally, but
I was gonna say is the same thing. I'm like, I'm not gonna yuck your yum, but that feels like a no-go for me personally. I'd be so scared, but whatever. It works
yeah.
for her.
$5 from Bobby Kennison again. I think I could date someone religious. To be honest, it's always encouraging to hear, oh God. In fact, the amen is a little strange though.
Nice.
I feel like with the right person, I could see it working. Again, like I know Seth Andrews, his wife is still like kind of a God believer. I don't think she's like super Christian or anything, but like I've had relationships where it worked as long. It's really, I care more about values.
Mhm.
And if it's really important to you, like Alyssa said, like I probably wouldn't be good for you because I'm not going to stop doing what I do, like trash talking like Christianity writ large. So like I don't know how they would tolerate me, to be honest, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like walking around in my worship nothing merch. But they're not gonna like that very much. $5 from Aaliyah Shauna Silverbow. I totally get them missing the milestones thing. As a 43-year-old virgin, maybe it's time for me to get a nose ring. Also, I ate a bowl of soup. Hashtag soupin. Soup
Soupin.
loop. Soupin. I think I said we
Soup
were going to be
loop.
soupin for 2 minutes, and we were
Yeah.
soupin for a while.
Way more than 2 minutes. I also had soup before. It's something at the universe is soupy today.
Soupy day.
$5 from Devin LaBear. You two are crushing it. Thank you guys for sharing your knowledge and experiences to help all of us. I'm glad anyone found anything we said today helpful.
Thank you, Devin. $9.99 from Daniel. Thanks for doing the show, ladies. You take the calls that no other rational person would or should. That's what makes this show so important. Thanks, Daniel. I feel like that's mostly
thanks,
about
Daniel.
Andrew.
Probably. $10 from Nathan Arndt. Gotta walk my baby and finish laundry. Just finished the latest episode of Alien Earth. We'll rewind for later, like my urologist says. What?
Nice.
Like my urologist says, I love your streams. Awesome. Nice. I've been really on True Blood. I'm almost done True Blood. I know Lux just finished it like in happenstance right around the same time as I started watching it. And I just started season 6 out of 7. So
I've never watched True Blood. I probably should because I'm a big like Vampire Diaries girl. I love that.
You would like it. It's Twilight, but lots of sex. Lots of sex.
Okay.
It's like multiple times every episode. You're like, wait, would people really be having sex in this situation? And you're like, you know what? I really don't care. Actually, I'm just gonna observe.
Okay, well, maybe that's the next thing I start then. I don't know. Maybe I skip this year's fall rewatch of Gilmore Girls and do True Blood instead. Switch up the vibe. $10 from Perfectly Fluid, maybe? I'm not sure. Missed everything,
I think it's
but you
perfectly
guys
flawed.
Listen, we've had a lot of fluid conversations today. Who knows? Oh yeah, fluid doesn't even have a W in it. I'm an idiot. Okay. Missed everything, but you guys are great. We'll have to watch back. Thank you so much.
For some reason, when I first read their name, I said floorward because FWD looks like is forward, but the L
floorward.
Perfectly floorward.
Perfectly floorward.
$5 from Space Barbarian. I'll give Andrew this. He's like 12 callers worth of content in one. True. Listen, I know chatters do get sick of when a caller calls in a lot in quick succession. So we may ask him to like wait a month or something at some point soon, but I do want to keep taking his calls for the time being. So
yeah, does make for great clips, I will say. Awesome. $9.99 from Outwitted by Fish. That's a funny name. I think I'm addicted to therapy. Should I see someone about that? No, girl. You're getting healed. I'm so happy for you.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. We appreciate you all.
Thanks, y'all.
Oh, we out.
Oh, we're out. No, we're starting all over.
Oh yeah.
Okay. We're out. Thank you to. Are we soup looping? Maybe. No.
Oh my god. Soup looping
Okay.
again.
Looping again. Thank you to our screeners and our mods and everyone producing and chat. Thank you, everyone.
Patreon.com/call the line.
See you guys
Bye.
for our next soup loop on Tuesday.